Hello, I am here for day 33 of the Aries Point road opener, and we are at a very significant juncture in our process of opening that road and moving forward into our destiny. And I really got a download that came in today, and so we're going to do an interesting read here. We're going to look at a bunch of different angles in regard to spiritual guidance. So you can really feel out how best to tap into your spiritual guidance at this time in your own connection that you have with source, however you relate to that, whether you relate to that as tapping into your higher guidance or working with deity, or just nature itself. So I want to bring forward sort of a different angle with this, more about how you can open up to that intuitive guidance that wants to come through for you, how you can more easily align with your path, the path you're meant to be on at this time, as well as a confirmation for your intuition. We're going to be doing this with the Angel Tarot, also the Tarot of the Owls. And then I'm going to finish off with pulling a white light oracle card, and we'll do the meditative practice that comes along with that. And then finally, we're going to just see what our guides want us to know, what they feel we most need to know right now. But first, I wanted to bring in a little bit of dragon's blood just to call in some energy around this read. Dragon's blood is very purifying. It's also really good for helping to call in wishes. And really, the best wish that the collective can make at this time is to align with the path that is meant for them for their deepest fulfillment and alignment with their purpose. So let's just hold that intention right now. And we're just calling in the purification of anything that creates any sense of confusion or uncertainty or lack of confidence or blockages that inhibit our ability to tap into our own internal compass, compass of our hearts, that tug in our souls, and just what feels right in our bones about the right direction for us to head in now. I also want you to just take a moment right now and think of that issue, that thing that you are really grappling with in your life, or where you may have faced some challenges, where you feel that uncertainty, where maybe you don't know which way to go, that point that has you stuck in the crosshairs at the crossroads. And I want you to just give it over to this dragon's blood. Give it on over to this dragon's blood. I'll call in a little bit of this hawk medicine to send some of this smoke your way, and to also help you gain some vision, some perspective, a little distance from having it in that Eight of Swords where it's just like rattling around in your brain. And maybe we can get a higher view, a more insightful, inspirational view, that bird's eye view with some messages from spirit. Let's just allow that hawk medicine to carry up those troubles to the heavens so we can get some guidance coming in from Great Spirit and root it here on Mother Earth, Father Sky, Mother Earth energy coming in. You'll have to excuse me. I have been talking a lot this week. I've been doing some really long drop in channeling sessions on my throat. is a bit, tired, and I notice my voice is it's needing some rest time. So I might have to clear my throat a bit as I'm doing this read with you all, but I felt very compelled to bring this in. I think this is going to be the read I leave you all off with um, as I head into my 2 days off, because I'm feeling that need to kind of tune within and rest and integrate. And I'll be bringing back more of the spring fever wild card love reads on Tuesday when I get back after my couple days off. So hello, how are you? We're going to do a really cool read. We're going to go out there a bit. This is a totally esoteric read. We're really looking at how we can open up into our psychic awareness, align with our intuition, um, how we can more easily connect with our path, the path we're meant to be on, do any timeline hopping if we need to. Um, and we're going to look at some very specifics and get like the specific guidance we need. So as you receive this read, just really consider what is that issue, that thing that you've been really grappling with or you feel uncertain about. You don't know what direction you should take with it, and kind of hold that in your consciousness for the guidance to come through as you receive this read. We're going to be working with the Angel Tarot, the Tarot of the Owls, and then I'm going to finish up with one card from the White Light Oracle, and we'll do the healing meditation with that, just to sort of root whatever comes through. I also got some dragon blood incense going to help support the guidance that needs to come in, and just building that protective energy. It's also wish granting energy, and sort of the collective wish that we're bringing in right now is all around aligning with the path that we're meant to be on, and for that to happen with the most ease, and to get us moving forward in the most harmonious way that will bring us the deepest fulfillment. It's a good intention to leave it wide open at this time. I did get an initial download that came in, so I want to give that up right now. We are going through currently the first round of karmic balancing as we head to that Aries point. This first round of karmic balancing really came in with that Aries double new moon solar eclipse that we just had on the 20th. It was a significant shift. I felt it. I'm sure there's many others in the collective that felt it. It was almost like this line in the sand moment. I have that imagery in my mind's eye. It's like a line in the sand, and it's the line that divides then and now. Okay. So something has fundamentally shifted. And I think things are about to get pretty interesting as we move through the Mercury retrograde cycle and things go into that backslide. Time is going to become even more interesting. All right. We got a time warp action going on right now. Just because we've already have that new way of dealing with time, with Saturn being in Pisces, where it has more fluidity. It really is possible to timeline hop right now. It really is possible to time bend. It is possible to lose time. It's possible to find time. Time is very interesting right now. But one thing that time relates to also is the cycles and the karmic cycles. And it's time for the first round of karmic balancing to go down right now. The guidance that came in was that the collective really needs to hang out. Hang out right now, don't resist what's going down. Don't fight what's going down. Where there's any disruption in your life, let it be disturbed. Don't engage. Don't resist. It's more about moving into this place of radical acceptance. There's going to be people having towers right now, Some people will be delivering towers by the choices they make, the actions they take will be delivering some towers. Some will be receiving towers. And the towers are also happening internally, as in blowing our minds. There's really a lot of pent up energy going on in like the collective energy body right now, where all of this like built up mounting tension from the lower chakra centers is really just wanting to rise up and break on through to the other side by opening up that crown. And so now is when we're going to start really feeling a lot more action happening in the heart center. You may be feeling almost, some people might be feeling like anxiety in the heart center. And it's really because the energy is starting to move into expansion. And there is this big rush. It's sort of like the rushing of the tide. There's this big rush of energy that's going to be coming forward internally to really break open that heart. And it's moving us into a place where we can start to be led and directed in our lives in a new way, where we're coming more from that place of our receptivity, being in the flow of life, being more guided by feeling, getting a little bit more out of the head and more into the body, feeling things through, really engaging with the experience in that way by being very present in our experience. And it's so important at this time that we just don't fall into any of those really, linear spaces where there's no wiggle room, because it's very out of harmony to be into the mindset of needing to control things or resist things right now with Saturn in Pisces. It just won't allow it. It's inharmonious. So, any area of your life where you start to resist what's happening, or you want to argue with somebody or what they're doing, their choices, anything along these lines, you will find that it will lead to absolute shutdown, blockage, and it will make things a whole lot harder. It's the difference between being kind of carried to the next step and being dragged there, a long, hard mile. So we're really being asked to let go and to just be open. Don't make premature judgments about what's going down. In other words, don't look at things as like, this is good or this is bad. It's just what is. It's just the beginning. There's a lot of balancing going down. So what's happening right now is there's like two sides to this equation, as there always is with all things in this earthly life. It's a life of duality. It's two sides of the same coin, but two very different experiences. And it's going to be playing out for the collective in one of two ways. So with this first round of karma, you're either going to find out if, you have some dues to pay the piper, maybe there's some karma you need to pay off, or you may be finding that you are receiving a karmic reward, some brownie points, something that's been earned, a reprieve, some guidance, an opening, an opportunity, a reconciliation, a relief. This is a gift that comes in, but it is very polarized like that right now. So there's going to be some people that are having to be held accountable for past actions at this time. You will be seeing this go on around you. There's a key to this, because if you are watching somebody who did you wrong or caused you suffering in some way, or you have some kind of conflict with this person, and maybe there is a part of you that has been resentful, has not been able to like let it go, has that kind of grudge energy investment, and you see somebody suffering the repercussions of their actions, you may get sucked into your shadow at this time in finding some kind of, oh, I hate to say it, but it's what's coming forward for the collective, delight in that. this is where we really need a lot of tempering. You see, because as soon as you go there, then you fall out of grace with your own path's integrity, right? And so you will soon find that you can be on the other end of that karmic wheel, that wheel of fortune. That's the way it goes. What goes up must come down. So this is something to be very mindful of because it's only the first round. Likewise, some of you are so close to getting that big blessing, like that thing you've been working so hard for. A lot of you feel like you've been like going that long, hard mile, and you haven't really been seeing that promise of what set you in motion with these actions you've taken in your life, where you have been investing your energy. You haven't really seen it come into its like full potential yet. Some of you may be feeling challenged in regard to just continuing that investment and having the faith, but it's so important right now that you really follow through. And where you felt like you had some inspiration come forward for you that was coming from your spirit or coming from your heart, something that spoke to you, where you really feel like you got the memo and it was like, no, I need to do this. I need to follow through with this. You need to follow through. Just because you haven't seen something come through yet, don't give up. And in some cases, we have to understand that with this first round of karma, what's really going down right now is it's the blockbuster in our road opener journey. So before the road can open, there has to be a blockbuster. And how does a blockbuster come through? Well, it comes through disruption. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. That's how you open the road. Sometimes it takes a little bit of that spiritual dynamite, to just blast the way open. Sometimes there's been a lot that has just been piling up and hasn't been addressed for so long that it requires that. It requires this huge cathartic, like blow your mind, blow the way wide open moment. And there can be casualties of that, right? There can be opportunities lost. There can be relationships severed. There can be moves that need to be made. There can be all kinds of changes. There can be changes in your viewpoint, there can be whole new paths you find yourself led to go down because of your experiences. Some people feel the need to start all over from scratch, right? It's that kind of a moment. So it's going to be a lot of rocking and rolling. And some of you may receive like what is perceived as, how can I put this? An unfair hand. You're being advised to not look at things with a view to the short term, but get that bird's eye perspective and get more of a long-term view. Some of you need to take an L in order for you to see that dream, that vision, that thing that you have been really working towards, investing in, dreaming of, where your spirit has called you. Along the way, your blockbuster is you have to take a hard L, man, in order to open up the way to receive what you want. Because what you're not able to see right now is that very thing that you've been holding on to for dear life, because you feel like to lose it is to lose something just so valuable, something that you've invested already so much of your heart in, that you feel like it's meant for you. You don't have the correct view. And so there's something about no matter what happens right now, you got to trust, because these very things that you may lose in this process, that you may feel is unfair, that you may feel this can't possibly be right. And why am I getting this bad karma? It's not bad karma. There's no bad karma. There's no karma. There's just karma. Karma is just action. And one action leads to another action. And as we've brought in other readings, it's the domino effect right now. It's a synergistic moment. This is synchronicity lining up. It's the timelines lining up. And it's a blockbuster moment. So some people will experience that blockbuster moment like, whoa, my mind is blown. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't see this before. I got to head in this direction. I got to go talk to this person. I got to change my whole life. I'm going to go and get lost in the world. I'm going to go on a trek through the Camino Santiago, and I'm going to find myself. I'm going to be born anew. Some people will be having really like liberating moments like that, like their whole view of the world shifts. They completely change their spiritual beliefs. We do have Pluto in Aquarius. It is revolutionary energy. And that revolution happens first within ourselves. Okay. So some people are going to have that moment. And to some people, it may look like a midlife crisis, It may look like somebody is really losing their shit, but they're not. They're getting found. All right. So we can't look at things as negative, even if what you're dealing with is disruptive right now. It's a road opener. And no matter what that looks like, okay? Even people that like have done you wrong, people who've been moving in that 7 of Swords energy, and you're seeing somebody get their comeuppance, they're getting the shit end of that stick now, like it may have been fun at the time when they were getting away with it, but now they're being called to mat. Don't gloat about that when you see people going through that. We got to get out of like this divisory mindset. It's more like understanding that this is an opportunity for that person to grow, get beyond that, move forward. If you go to the place of gloating about somebody else going through something harsh, you're really setting yourself up for a pretty big fall. All right. We have to remember we're not even at the point of those nodes of destiny lining up in July. We're moving towards that Aries point. So now is the time to be mindful, that now is the time to be aware that all that is happening right now, whether it's feeling awesome and exciting and enthusiastic, and a lot of you will be having that experience too. A lot of you will be experiencing like towers of liberation where you're like, hallelujah, I am saved, I am free at last, where you really find that you've reached a certain place in your growth where you're able to just like shake off those shackles. You're not bound up anymore. You finally feel like yourself again. You feel confident. You feel you're Shay. You're ready to bring your gifts forward in the world, and you're ready to step forward boldly. Some of you are hitting that point. And there's other people that are really like, they're having moments of reckoning, and it's not easy. But in the end, even those that are going through stuff like that, it's a moment of liberation. It's a moment of awakening. It's a moment of truth. And so all things work toward good in the end. And that's where we really need to keep our focus. So relax through this process the best you can. Process any emotions that come up for you during this cycle the best that you can, creating space for them. Don't avoid what you're feeling. Even if what you feel is ugly, if you're going through something rough, it's okay. It happens to all of us. None of us escape that. We are all on the wheel of karma. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. And some of you that have been going a really long, hard walk on your road, and you've been walking that road, the good red road, you've been walking that road upright, you're really going to find now you get a reprieve right at a moment when you may have been feeling like, oh, I can't go any longer without some relief. Relief comes in. But there is this piece that's really wanting to come forward very strongly. Please, those who made your way harder, those who put blocks in your path, those who were obstacles, obstructions, things that held you back. When you see these people having to be held accountable for that, don't find delight in that. All right. It's about really just tapping into the energy of being in your own energy. not worrying about what's happening with others. Stay focused on your own experience, your own growth, because we've all had times in our life where we made mistakes, where we didn't make the best choices, all right? And at the end of the day, we're all walking each other home. So we can only hope, hope that people can grow. We hope that we can grow, right? We hope we can all grow together. So let's stay focused. Let's keep the vibe high. Let's not bring the energy down, because it's so important that we continue to be mindful of how we run our own energy right now, and that we do our piece. And for those of you that are having something really harsh go down and you're having to let go of something and it doesn't feel fair, it doesn't feel fair. What you don't realize is that that very thing that has been preventing you from receiving everything that you have prayed for. It's that very thing that is in the way of you receiving everything you have prayed for. And maybe you thought your answered prayer looked a certain way. Maybe you thought it was this person or this opportunity, but life has something much better planned in store for you. And so the more everybody can just let go, accept, and move through these experiences with as much grace and humility as you can, the more that you're going to find that the road just really opens up for you, and there's going to be so much supportive energy coming in. So it's really time to get aligned with that, right? And that's a real straightening by fire, because I think we can all be honest. We can all be honest, and we can all say, if we've really been done dirty by someone, like, your shadow, your shadow wants to see some justice, right? You want to see that go down. But there can be like a certain egoic hook in that actually really loops you back into your shadow, and it can form an attachment. And those are the things we need to really be aware of at this time. We're being asked to learn how to really run our energy on a higher level. So this is a test. It's a test for all of us. So school's in session. We're all about to learn some important lessons. We're going to learn things about ourselves that we weren't aware of. We're going to learn what it really means to have your prayers answered. We're going to learn the power of the wish. We're going to learn how much weight our words carry, and how important it is that we're present and that we're mindful of how we execute our energy in the world. It all holds great weight and significance at this time. So we're going to dive into this read with the questions that want to come in. I'm really excited about this. We're going to look at several different questions. The first question we're going to look at for the collective is, how can we open up to our psychic awareness? How can we open up to our own intuitive gifts? How can we open up to the guidance that wants to come in, so we're actually receptive to it and we can receive it? So this is the first thing we're going to look at. We're looking at this with the Angel Tarot, and then I'm also bringing in the Tarot of the Owls. So bringing in a little bit of that magic and bird's eye view with that owl medicine. And of course, the angels are always very helpful for guiding in such manners. So how can the collective open up to their psychic awareness, their psychic gifts? What can they do to better facilitate this opening, and to do so in a way that is the smoothest transition into that expanded awareness? Because any of us who have started to open up to our psychic gifts, open up to our intuition, which, please understand, this is a potential that everybody has. Everybody has access to their higher guidance, everybody. But some just haven't really learned how to let go and give over to that opening. This can be related to fear they may have around it, or just feeling closed off to it because of certain beliefs they were raised with. So when you do finally start to have this expansion, sometimes people can experience it as very destabilizing. And we don't need to go through this in a destabilizing way. It's a very natural experience, actually, and we all have access to these gifts and these abilities. So we're really looking at how can we open up to this process too with the most ease and move through it in a way where it can feel liberating, awakening, enlivening. You know, it can feel also very, very beautiful when you open up to that depth of spiritual connection. And we know it's coming in. We have Knight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck energy here. La Hellel. The praiseworthy God, light of understanding, acquires knowledge and cures illness. And yes, I mean, once we're tapped in like that, once we root it into the physical body, which is what you're doing when you're opening up as a channel, you're drawing down that akasha or ether spirit into the body. Remember, prana, to breathe in archaic terms, breathe, the breath, it meant to inspire. And that's what you're doing. You're drawing that energy down from the ether. It's activating your Atman, your higher consciousness. It's however you relate to that, the guidance of your angels, your guides, your spirit guides, your ancestors, your your star family that wanted to come in. I normally don't get stuff like that, but it wanted to come in. So I'm going to bring it in. Your star family. Okay. You're able to bring that in and you're able to root it in the physical through your body. This gives you a new kind of clarity, a new kind of understanding. It's sort of like it provides you with a new way of moving through the world. You won't feel so in the dark once you're connected with this source, because it's one thing to be connected to the earth in this physical body, but many people find a challenge with how do I root, how do I root that higher energy into the physical so I feel really supported in that. That's why they feel destabilized. They don't know how to root the energy. And we've been bringing a lot of this in, and I did do a read last night. It was a chakra read that was really helpful for just knowing how to work with sort of the collective energy body right now. We're really being asked to do a lot of grounding at this time. So I feel like this is the first thing we need to do, is we really need to get our roots solid with this Knight of Pentacles. It's also about not trying to rush the process, not trying to push the river, like allow the opening to happen at its own pace. Don't try to force it. There's this real piece about not trying to force it. And what do I mean by forcing it? Sometimes people kind of try to guide themselves through Kundalini awakenings by working with Kundalini yoga, and maybe they don't have really experience with yoga or things like this. If you try to push an opening too fast before it's really ready to be rooted in the physical body like that, it can be supremely destabilizing. So there's this piece that's coming in about let go to the experience more. Don't chase it. Okay. Don't chase it. Don't try to rush it. There's this guidance coming through about it's so necessary for us to work with a lot of grounding practices right now, because we are preparing to open up. And so to open up like that, it's necessary to also clear the lower channels out, which means doing a lot of earthing. You can earth very simply, just take off your shoes, put your bare feet on the ground, and just allow any heaviness you feel in your body energetically to just seep down through the soles of your feet, down into the core of the earth. Give it over to the core of the earth to be composted, returned to you as renewable energy, and then drink that energy back up through your feet into your body. It's a way to enter into this connection of sort of that reciprocal flow between you and the earth, and really feel the support of the earth and your connection with the earth. But it also facilitates the process of like moving these heavy experiences out of our lower chakra channels down into that earth energy, so we can clear this and it can start to open up into these upper channels. We are going to be having these awakenings. Part of the reason why people are having towers in their lives is to open up their consciousness right now. This is what Pluto in Aquarius does. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. We're moving into expansion. This is why we're having our minds blown right now and why we're experiencing a blockbuster on our path so we can open our road forward. It's a new road. It's a new road, but there's been too much from the past, sort of like blocking it. So you're really being asked to take that heavy energy of your past now and work in partnership with the earth by grounding that energy from the past out, bundling it up, giving it to the roots of a tree by merging your root with the root system of a tree and just offering it down to the earth. It will also help you really feel connected to your body. There's this piece too, making sure you're taking the time to slow down with your meals and really nurture your body with good food. It's so important that you're properly nourishing yourself and in particular getting good quality complete protein when you are opening up your psychic awareness. It helps ground out the energy into the body and it is so helpful. This process is going to be unfolding slowly after this initial kind of jolt, okay, of this tower moment that everybody's experienced. Everybody's going to experience, you know. All of us are letting something go, all right? And some of us are facing negative repercussions. Others of us are letting things go. It's hard for us to let this go, but then we're experiencing a subsequent reprieve on our path, okay? All of it can be stress producing, right? Whether you're, heading in a brand new direction and you're excited about it, but there's something you're having to release and it's really hard for you to release that thing, or whether you're experiencing some negative repercussions, right? All of it is stress producing. So it's so important that we understand this necessity for grounding in this moment, but there's also this kind of reassurance coming in that don't worry, the rest of this is going to be a lot easier to take. It's going to be more of an unfurling, just think of like that initial burst of bloom, when you have a rose coming into bloom, but then as the petals unfurl, it happens in a more gentle process. It's the initial burst of that growth that's kind of like that moment of awakening. And then the unfolding happens with more calm. And it can happen with more ease for us, more that we just let go and release to it. But you're being asked to work with your grounding, allow the earth to kind of help take some of that illness from you, right? I mean, it can be like an energetic illness when you're holding on to energy from your past and you're dragging it around with you. You're not able to move into the present. And if you hold on to things from the past, and we did bring it in before, grudge energy, resentment, all this heavy kind of emotions, it absolutely can make you sick. It can lead to physical illness. So we're being asked to release all of this, work in partnership with the earth and work with our grounding to really let all that shit go so we can start to move forward into our new chapters with more gentleness, with more ease and less struggle. Again, I've been doing a lot of long channeling sessions, so my voice has been giving out on me a bit. So you'll have to excuse me as I clear my throat a bit as I'm doing this. You see it coming in late. It's just downloading the meeting. Yes, yeah. It is a moment of justice. It's the balancing of the scales, and we are leading up to that. That's what's going to happen in July. We're going to have Libra in the South Node. Do you need to go outside, Teddy Bear? You do? One moment. We're also moving out of our shadow. Okay, so it makes complete sense. We're preparing right now to move up into that Taurus North Node destiny, but it has to first come from a place where we understand our worth, what we value, what has true meaning, where we're very, very rooted and in alignment with that. And it also means that we have to be at a place where we have released the shadow. And the problem is that right now there's some people that are still acting out of shadow. They haven't completely sloughed that off. And if they haven't completely sloughed that off, those people will be experiencing towers where they're being held accountable. It's sort of like seeing the back end of what happens when you don't move correct. That's going to be rough for them. It's going to be difficult for them. And it also is going to be difficult for those who have done the work and are maybe experiencing like a little like kind of like moment of encouragement where it's like, there you go, good job. You've made the right choices. You're doing your work. You're doing your release work. You're letting go of what doesn't serve you, but it's still a test, right? It's still a test because the people that have been moving correctly and are having this moment of reprieve and they're getting the reward for that. And yeah, keep going. You're heading in the right direction. You're getting free of that shadow. There's a tendency, I don't know why I got this image. I don't know why biblical images are coming through for me, but I'm going to roll with it. There's this image. What I just saw is that image of like Lot's wife, walking away from Sodom and Gomorrah, and she looked back, right? She looked back to take it all in, and she turned to a pillar of salt. It's got that vibe. So don't get too big for your britches, collective. It has that energy too, because you got to remember, justice is blind. Justice is blind, and justice is balanced and it's unbiased, and it just trusts in the fairness of things and how things are balancing out. So if you move into that space, if you get tempted by your shadow, and as you see somebody who maybe did you wrong or hurt you, going through a very difficult tower, something that's painful, but comes sort of as like a tough love from the universe in the hopes of awakening somebody like, hey, it's time to transform these behaviors. It's time to get free of this. There's a better way to move through your life, and that's what we should hope for. And that's what we should hold out for everybody, right? But if you get in that place, and I have to bring it forward because we see it so exemplified on YouTube, in the tarot community. There's so much of this karmic, this divine, feminine, that, this kind of energy. It's very cliquish and it's very separatist. It breeds division. We're all here learning karmic lessons. And you could really get yourself in trouble if you fall in that sort of mindset right now with the way things are playing out. Because if you do that, you'll be very much like Lot's wife. You'll be looking back. It's like looking back at the scene of a crime. And then you end up getting reeled in as an accomplice. You know what I'm saying? You get a guilt by association because instead of you staying in your lane and staying on purpose and staying focused on your path and your own soul's directive, and what is an integrity for you and moving forward, you're taking a moment to turn back to the shadow, to gloat, to find enjoyment in somebody getting their just desserts. That revenge, that grudge energy right now, it'll bite you in the ass. It will. It'll bite you in the ass. So be aware of what it really means to be in a place of holding justice. Very, very aware of what it really truly means, because justice is blind. And while you might be at a point where you feel like you're on the upper end of that right now, if you allow yourself to go back into the shadow, right, as you're rising up into the light, you're going to get your own spanking, when things come back around the bend. This is just the first round. And so it's very much a test for you at this time. It's a test for all of us. So, so important. We all have stuff to look at. None of us should be minding what's happening to other people right now. It was 44 on the clock when I said that, right? This is about us really minding our own work, what we have to do, staying out of a place of judgment, staying out of that place of ego, and chop wood, carry water, and do what is needed. So Now let's ask this question specifically. How can we open to our guidance, to our psychic awareness? How can we best help facilitate this process? Are there any particular practices that you want us to bring in this regard, angels? Okay. It was in reverse. Isn't this funny? The Hanged Man. I was bringing up that imagery of the Hanged Man and like letting go, releasing, getting a different perspective, only it's in reverse. The Hanged Man, the only God, desire for knowledge, protects from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. Okay, so, but isn't it funny? The Hanged Man was in reverse. And this very much, it's like, this is why I love working with the angels, because they always come through in that very confirmational way. It's affirming the message. It's saying, look, if you let go, if you take your hands off of it, if you don't try to, get your last licks in, all right, or resist what's happening to you, if you can just let go and go with the flow, you'll find that you'll be protected from everything that opposes you now. You'll find that those blocks that were in your way are going to completely dissolve. And you're going to find your road opens up before you. You're going to start to come into alignment with your path. Things are going to flow easier. You're also going to find you're more connected to your own intuition, your own internal guidance. You'll have a lot more clarity. You won't be confused anymore. And why will you not be confused? Because you're not going to be worrying about what's happening with so-and-so and what they're doing or how things are going for them. You're going to stay focused on your own path and your own work. And your job is to accept. Your job is to say yes to what happens right now. Even if what is happening right now is painful, difficult, a challenge for you, even if you're being asked in order for you to step into your destiny, to step up to that next level of fulfillment in your life, even if you're being asked to let go of something that you really don't want to let go of, you're being asked to take your hands off of it. The fact that the Hanged Man is in reverse shows that we have been resisting this process. We have been holding on. We've been like this. Okay? A closed fist, a fixed hand is a losing hand. There needs to be openness, softness, receptivity. How can blessings come in when you are clenched like this and resisting what you need to release? They can't. There's a necessity to trust that there's some higher energy operating through your life. There is some higher wisdom operating through your life. And you will open up more to your intuition when you can actually have the ability to take the risk to trust that by letting go of what you're trying to control right now, letting go of what you're resisting, releasing. And it's when we have these open hands, this is when we can receive, right? This is when we can receive. So a lot of you have sent up prayers. A lot of you have been doing the work. You've been working your path. You've been in the trenches. You have been feeling all the ugly emotions. You've been ugly crying. You've gone through months and months and months and months of this. Some of you feel like you've gone through years of this. You've done the deep dive. You've done the work. You've taken the high road. You aimed high when you could have hit low. You know what I'm saying? You let a lot of stuff go. You've really been trying to do the work and being honest about that, moving forward in integrity on your path, and also being honest with others. You've held your peace. You've been accountable for your actions. Maybe you haven't always been perfect, but you've been in alignment, because let me tell you, spirituality does not require your perfection. All right. It doesn't require you to be perfect. Sometimes we all make mistakes and we're meant to learn from those, but if you've been moving with a good heart, if you've been moving in good conscience, if you've been moving forward in a way that, you've done your best, to be ethical in the choices you've made, to be considerate of other people, how they would be affected, to be honest in where you're at and what you want to do, so other people can feel very, supported in their own paths. All right. So now you need to just trust that and not worry about what's happening with anybody else, because that's between them and their own souls and their own growth process. And the more that we can focus on where we're going and the work we have to do, the better off we will be. Okay. So it's sort of like saying, like, the more that you kind of resist this, the more you cling and the more you try to control what's happening and the more you are focused on what's going on with other people. And if they are, being held accountable for what they did to you or it's not fair. All right. And that's the thing. It may seem like some of those people that, didn't treat you right back there, it may seem like they're getting a lot of rewards right now. You may lose the plot if you get into anger about that because you're not seeing the whole picture yet. You got to let things play out. Okay. Maybe this is the part where you get what you perceive as like an unfair deal because your karma at this point is to have to let go of this thing that you really don't want to let go of. And you have to watch, as those who didn't treat you right get what seems like their wish fulfillment. And it may seem unfair, but you're not seeing the whole picture. All right. So just no matter what you're going through right now, and no matter how it appears to you at this time, don't resist it. Don't fight it. Don't try to control it. And don't worry about what's happening to anybody else. Because if you bring that forward, if you do try to cling, if you do try to control, if you try to bring your ego into it, if you move into those places of resentment or wanting to get even, any of this stuff, you're going to lose that protection. It's sort of like spirit saying to you, don't you understand? I'm trying to get this shit out of your way so you don't have to suffer from it anymore. You're holding on to this thing that's bringing you nothing but misery in your life, and you're bitching to me about it. You're hassling me. You're praying to me about it. And you're asking me why. And you're asking me why as you're holding on to this thing for dear life. And since you haven't been able to let it go, will you please get out of the way and let me do what you asked me to do? All right. I mean, I'm feeling this. It's like a tough love moment from spirit. That's how it's coming through. And all this guidance you need, all of this need you have to know, to feel like you know the way forward. The reason why you don't know what the way forward is just yet is because you're trying to freaking control so much. So how is your higher guidance supposed to come in if you're all in like your ego machinations and you're trying to figure out how can I win in this situation? If you've gotten yourself into this like competitive mindset, there's no way for you to get the guidance you need to come in. Of course, you're going to feel distraught, confused, frustrated. You're in your head. You're too much in the logic. You got to like get out of your own way, man, and just trust what's happening right now. And the more that we let go at this time, just go, okay, I'm willing to trust that maybe I have no freaking idea what's really going to make me happy at the end of the day. And then maybe I got it wrong. And if you can go to that place and just go, I accept something, anything, I don't care what you call it, take the wheel. Take the wheel. God is take the wheel. Lead me to where I need to go. I know that the sweetest fruits for me to savor. I know what's going to give me the most joy. I know that because you're me. Spirit is me. I know there's a part of me that knows truly what will really give me happiness. And if you just think about it for a moment, if you're really having a hard time letting go of something right now, okay? If you find that you're really clinging to something, how are you feeling right now? Does it feel good? Do you feel happy? Are you happy right now? Are you full of joy? You feel hopeful? Do you have good energy? Do you have vitality? You sleeping well? Are you having pleasurable experiences? Probably not. So then just by logic, if you're going to look at it that way, just by logic, does it make sense? Does it make sense to continue to hold on to this thing? Because you're struggling. If it's a struggle, it ain't it. If it's a struggle, it ain't it. If you have to force a fit, it ain't it. It ain't it. What you're coming into alignment with right now is your purpose. People are being aligned with their purpose, the reason why they're here, the work they're supposed to do in the world. Why? Because we're in that Pluto and Aquarius energy. It's all about the revolutionary energy. It's about bringing forward a new consciousness into the world. It's about creating, co-creating together a brand new world, and us holding our piece of that by bringing our creation forward, our contribution forward. And so you aligning with that, in no way does it look like fighting. In no way. There's no struggle in it. It's just let go. Just let go. That chariot will carry you forward. That's why the chariot card in the tarot, it doesn't have any reins. It's spirit directing that chariot forward. You just hop in. Remember? You got the ticket. Now go for the ride. Okay? So there's this need to let go. So we got these pieces coming in. As you let go, you don't need to worry. You're taken care of, okay? These liars, you need to see it as what it is. You're being asked to let go of the liars. You're being asked to let go of the people who have looked at you with jealousy, put that malocchio, that evil eye energy on you. You're being asked to let go of these bad spirits in your life. You know, you hold on to the pain, you hold on to the anger, you hold on to hatred, you hold on to this stuff too long. You are breathing life into that energy. You are breathing life into it. You can make the manifestation of a bad spirit. And I'm going to go out there in my personal view, the way I view reality, my reality tunnel, my little view in the grid, in the matrix, is that demons are us. It's our shadow parts that we have invested so much focus in, given so much space, so much time, so much energy, that we breathe life into them. And they become entities all their own. That's my personal belief, my personal perspective. And it's really coming through as that for me. It's like you can let go of these bad spirits. You can let go of these evil spells. You know what the evil spells are? It's crossed conditions. It's investing in the fear. And even when we're looking at control, trying to hold on to things, right? That's fear. It's fear of missing out, fear that I'm not going to get what I need, fear that I'm never going to be happy. Fear if I don't hold on to this thing, then nothing is ever going to come to take its place. Fear of being without. There's no trust in that. And on the way to the house of love, to move into love, to move into that expansion of love, first you have to face along the way everything inside of you that is unlike love. And anything that is rooted in fear, and certainly control comes into that, is rooted in the opposite of love. And it takes you further into the shadow. So this piece is so important right now. Your protection is in letting go. And you are being protected by experiencing this tower. This tower is for your protection. If you're being asked to let go of these liars, these people who are working against you, these people who are being unethical with you, all right? These people who may be abusive towards you in some cases. Why do you want to nurture these bad spirits? Why do you want to breathe life in them? Do you want to continue to be haunted by this stuff? It's your choice. You get to manage your energy. Get out of the victim mindset. You got to get out of the victim mindset, no matter what you've suffered in life. And I really mean that. You know, I really mean that. And I'm not saying that people aren't ever victimized. Okay? There's a difference between being victimized and being in a victim mindset. Okay? There are times when horrible atrocities happen and people are victimized. There are crimes committed against people and it's unjust. It's unfair. But you don't have to live there. You don't have to live in that space. And this is about you setting yourself free and using whatever has happened to you to rise above that and bring it forward, to bring some kind of medicine into the world. And you don't deserve to live in that space. If you were victimized, you do not deserve to live in that space. Don't make a home in that space. You're meant to be liberated from that. And it's about really trusting and letting go and allowing spirit to come in at this time to guide you, to help connect you with the truth of who you are by opening up your higher awareness and having that direct link to spirit. You will feel so much healing and you'll feel so much grace coming in, and you're going to be led forward so smoothly on your path forward. But staying stuck in the trauma and holding on to it and focusing on it and looking at it and wanting to be in this place of punishing, okay, it's going to keep you in that place, and you're not meant to. You don't deserve to go through that anymore. It's time to free yourself from that. And so this is really about trusting that justice will be carried out, because we are at an important time in our history. It's significant. We are coming to the culmination of the age of the Kali Yuga, when lies are being exposed, when what is false is being outed, when false structures, when imbalances of power are all being just torn down so we can totally start anew. That's what the dawning of the age of Aquarius is all about. That's what the expansion is all about. That's what Pluto in Aquarius is all about. It's that revolutionary awakening energy. And the scales will be balanced. Karma will be balanced. But it's like spirit's asking you, let it go, man. Let it go, because we're here to take care of it for you. We're here to take care of it for you. Will you release the burden? It's not yours to carry anymore. You're meant to be free. You're meant to be free of this. You're meant to release this. And so in these cases where you're struggling with letting go of something, where you feel justified in holding on to it because you think that person needs to pay, don't worry. The scales are being balanced, and you're being relieved of the responsibility to met that out. And it's your salvation to release it. So whatever you're being asked to let go of right now, I don't care how much it hurts, how hard it is, what a struggle it is, your anger, whatever you feel, please just, even if you're feeling anger in relation to it, all right? Even if you're really pissed off about it, say yes, okay? Yes, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off about this. It's not about going into denial about what you're feeling, whitewashing your emotions. It's about being very clear about where you're at. And the more that you can do this, you're going to find like the support coming in. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Now spirit's on board. Okay. Now I'm moving forward. I got my guidance. I'm becoming very clear now. I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling freer. And you're going to start seeing your opportunities lining up. Okay. So just yes. Yes is such a powerful mantra. Yes doesn't mean that you're happy about what's going down. It doesn't mean you're like, I'm so excited that this is, this is falling apart in my life. I'm so excited I get to grieve this loss. No, it's not about that. It's about not having any resistance to it. Yes is wide open. Yes is acceptance, and yes is absolute trust. So we're being asked to move into that spirit of yes right now, okay, no matter what it looks like, okay? Even if you're being held accountable for when you didn't move right back there, it's just about, yes, I accept responsibility for that. And I trust that I'm going to grow, I'm going to learn something from that. And I trust I'll do better next time, and I'm going to make a change. I'm going to transform this pattern in my life. I'm going to call myself, to the mat to take the higher road, have a higher standard, right? So it's just about saying yes to all of it. And if we say yes, then we're really going to find our guidance coming through, all right? Our guidance is going to come through, and get grounded, ground the energy out. That's really coming forward very strongly. I feel like calling in the Tarot of the Owls for this next question. Our next question is, What will help us connect with the path we're meant to be on at this time? What should we be on the lookout for? What signposts are going to guide us to the path we're meant to be on at this time, so we know where to kind of focus our awareness, so we know where we should invest our energy. How will we be able to recognize the right path for us to take? How will that be evident to us, so we can make the most empowered steps forward, and we can start to move forward in a way where we find things lining up, right? Because nothing's more frustrating than being stuck at the crossroads. It's like there's such a great expenditure of energy. You're putting forward this huge investment to try to, make something happen in your life, and yet you're just wearing yourself out, right? That's such a defeated feeling, to feel like you're trying so hard to have some positive momentum in your life, and you just keep coming up against blockages, right? So this would be very helpful. Okay, we know we got a tower, but usually what happens is when there's a tower, okay, now we had our blockbuster moment, the road's open, but there's all these roads. Which one do I choose? Because I don't want to go back down a similar route from where I just came. I want to head off toward, that sunset, in the horizon. I want to have my moment of walking off into that sunset. I want to move into my fulfillment. I want to move into my happiness. I want my life to have meaning. I want to make sure that as I move forward, I'm investing it in what really matters. So, Spirit, give us a clue. Owl medicine, help us align with that path that brings us the magic into our life, where we really align with synchronicity and all the blessings that want to come in. Give us that bird's eye view. Help us to see through the dark of what we might not be able to see right now. Help us to have the path forward illuminated. How can we connect with the correct path we're meant to be on now? How? Bottom of the deck energy. It's just such a reinforcement of the energy. Look at this. We got the Hierophant. The Hierophant, okay? You know what the Hierophant means in tarot, just at its most simplest basic level? The Hierophant, when upright, is used as a clarification card. And what it means is yes. And what did we just talk about? We just talked about moving into that spirit of yes. So this is the Hierophant saying, yes. Yes, the more you trust, the more that you're going to find things moving forward. Don't worry. You're going to be presented the keys that you need. You will know the correct door to open. The more you say yes, the more you say yes, the more you trust, the more you're going to open up your own guidance. And what is that guidance? You're going to recognize that you have no separation between you and spirit. You have no separation between you and that guidance. You don't need an intermediary. You just haven't been tapped into that energy because you've been distracted by outside things that have gathered your attention, rather than turning your attention within and really nourishing that connection with your soul, with your spirit, with your higher awareness, with your consciousness. So the more you say yes and you trust what's happening, and you move into this place of acceptance, and you start instead really noticing, where does the energy feel good? Okay. Where does the energy tell you yes? When you start to move in this direction, it feels good. Or when this opportunity comes towards you, everything inside of you lights up and gets excited, and you feel your energy moving into this expansion instead of contraction. If you have something come your way, an opportunity come your way, a person come your way, and everything inside of you goes, oh yes, go there. It's really quite simple. That's the path. The path that is going to lead you forward is not like one end all be all decision. It's a path that is going to unfold one step at a time. And they will be presented as keys, okay, that open up your greater purpose. So be looking for this key symbolism. That's interesting. Be looking for key symbolism to show up on your path, just as like an archetypal symbol. So when you're out and about and you have a particular thought come to your mind, or maybe you overhear a particular conversation and then you happen to like see a key right after that, or there's some kind of key symbolism that comes in, that's a key for you. All right, so they're giving you like a little clue here about how you can start to spot the significant breadcrumbs on your path that are going to lead you in the right direction. That'll be like sort of letting you know this is earmarked by spirit. So where you have keys come in, and think outside the box with this. Okay, so let's say that you're in a grocery store and you bump into somebody and you have an exchange with this person, and there's just something different about this exchange with this person. We've all had those moments, right? And everything in your spirits kind of lighten up around it, and you're like, ooh, yes, I'm enjoying this, like I'm feeling this vibe, I'm digging this energy. And then you hear on the music in the grocery store, you hear Alicia Keys come on. That would be a key on your path. You know what I'm saying? So play with this energy. There's something about keys are coming in as a synchronistic key clue that you're on the path of manifestation, that you're heading in the right direction. All right, so be on the lookout for that. But I feel like the more that you say yes, the more that you say yes, the more you become aware that, oh, wait a minute, I know exactly what to do. The guidance has been there all along. The keys have been inside of me all along. I don't need an intermediary. I'm directly connected to spirit. I've just been distracted. I've been looking at all this stuff going on around me, and I've been getting worried, and I've been moving into the fear space. All I really need to do is kind of like come back into my own energy, come back into center, and cultivate that relationship with my own soul. And as I come back into my own energy and I focus on my own healing work, all of a sudden I find, oh, this expansion comes very naturally. I start finding my intuition come on board, especially as you work with that grounding, okay? And you're definitely going to be given the way forward. Look at what we got here. We have the Fool coming in right after that. That's the brand new beginning, the new cycle. So you're being asked to let something go because you're moving forward onto a brand new path. It's a whole new chapter of your life. It's a whole new cast of characters, brand new experiences, and it's very exciting. You should get excited about this. Okay, please get excited about this because, well, you look what's coming here. The Empress, that's moving into the North Node of Destiny, that Taurus North Node. All right? Keep going. Don't get distracted. Don't turn back and turn into a pillar of salt. Don't cling to it. Release it. Let it go. Keep heading forward. All right? There's something really beautiful opening for you now, and you're going to be guided synchronistically. And the more you let go, the more that it will flow. You've got spirit working with you. I cannot make it up. What comes after this Eight of Pentacles? The Emperor. My goodness. Emperor, Empress. All right, this is significant. I have to bring this in now because we've been talking about the Aries point, right? And that's the nodes of destiny. And yes, right now we got Scorpio South Node, Taurus North Node. We're moving into that Taurus North Node energy, valuing ourselves, appreciating ourselves, knowing our worth, knowing what's meaningful in our life so we know what to invest in, okay, where to invest our time, our energy. But in July, those nodes change, right? And Aries, represented by the Emperor, takes over the North Node. And Libra, representing the Empress, takes over that South Node. Look at this. Look at them working together with the Eight of Pentacles to bring in that manifestation, which we've been talking about, that Aries point, the Alpha, the Omega, the realization of that thing, that dream that you've prayed for, that thing you've wished for actually coming into being. This is confirmation. Let go and your prayer will be answered. Maybe it doesn't look the way you thought it would. Are you really going to turn down Emperor, Empress working together? You'd be crazy. You'd be absolutely nuts. You'd be absolutely nuts. More guidance, please. How will we be able to recognize the path forward, the path that we are meant to be on? How will we be able to recognize this path forward, this path that we're meant to be on, Spirit? How will we recognize the path forward, this path that we're meant to be on, Spirit? I love it. You're already on it, fool. We got the Magician with the Ace of Pentacles, okay? Ace of Pentacles, spring timing card. This is the seed. This is the moment of initiation. Again, big Aries confirmation with the Magician there. It's already begun, okay? Your job right now is to keep moving forward. Don't get stuck. Don't look back. You're meant to continue to move forward, all right? This is how you are going to align with your path. By moving forward, you're going to free yourself from the heaviness of the past. You're going to stay focused on your own lane, your own way forward. You're going to be focused in your own energy. And because of this, your guidance is going to come on board, right? Your intuition is going to come on board. You're going to keep your grounding practices going, right? You're going to keep your self care up. You're going to keep doing the work. You're going to keep listening to your spirit. You're going to keep saying yes. You're going to keep following where the energy is a yes, where that connection with that person feels like a yes inside, where it flows, where it's not a struggle, where it's just ease. Okay. You're not meant to struggle anymore. You're meant to put down the struggle. You'll find it all coming together. You're already there. You're already on the path. So this is kind of really, it's funny. It's like the guidance is coming through. It's like your danger right now is that you could let a tower throw you off your path because you're having to let go of this relationship or this job or this opportunity or some experience or position, something that you at one point saw as your answered prayer or your dream come true, your wish fulfillment, when actually, it's like the proverbial wooden nickel. It's not all it's cracked up to be. That actually ain't it. Hold on to your hats. We got something much better in store. Hold on to your hats. That makes me think of like the magician pulling a rabbit out of its hat. All right. There's something that's really playful about this energy, and you can't see it right now. It's sort of like spirit's really wanting you to enter into play with them and to dive into that more kind of mirthful side of life where you're tapping into the magic of life and the wonder of life and start to get excited about heading in a new direction, even though you might not know what it looks like now. The more that you connect with yourself and the more you allow that sort of magic to unfold and you look for those signs and you allow yourself to be led energetically by just trusting what your intuition is telling you, trusting you what your body is telling you. Remember, your body is the wand, so it knows where the energy is pulling you. You just have to drop in and listen, and that is part of also really earthing that energy, being connected. That's what connects you to spirit. I love that. You're already on the path. Don't lose the plot now. Don't lose the plot now, or you'll get hung up again. It's like some of you are still holding on to this old stuff that it's like, no, 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 you're already on the new path. And this is like the last thing that needs to go, this blockbuster. So your road can open. We got to bring down this tower because we tried to give you an opportunity to do it yourself. And you've refused. You've been fighting us. You've been praying to us. You've been offering up your rituals. You've been singing us songs. You've been giving us offerings. You've been talking to your ancestors, and you've been fighting us tooth and freaking nail. So now we have to bring out the big guns. We need to come forward. And we need to bring out the dynamite. We need to blow this road open. We need to bring a tower, man. We gotta clear this out. It's time to get moving. You're already on the path. The path is here. It's ready for you to step on it. You gotta accept this Ace of Pentacles. You gotta plant the seed. You gotta get moving forward. So I love that. From there, you'll be led. Watch for the key symbolism to come in for you. Okay. Don't resist this tower. All right. I think I want to bring the angels in for this next one. I'm going to play between these two different decks. Our next query is, how is the guidance going to show up on our path? And it's kind of funny because we already had the key symbolism come in, right? So we know that we'll know what steps to take when we have this key symbolism come in, and to be open-minded about how that key can appear, all right? Really think about that. Maybe it's while you're driving your car, some kind of insight comes in, a song comes on the radio, there's many different ways that key symbolism can come in. So open your mind. Maybe even if you lose your keys, right? If your keys go missing, that could be a clue like, oop, you're heading in the wrong direction. That might not be the right move. Think about what's happening right around that time. So we know that that's one of our signposts. We know that's one of the ways that we'll know that, we're moving in the right direction, that we're taking the right actions, or this is the correct person or opportunity to align with. So how else will we see those keys show up? It was in reverse. Four of Pentacles, Misrael, God liberating the oppressed, self-atonement, cures mental illness, deliverance from persecution. So again, there's this piece, it's in reverse. This Four of Pentacles is in reverse. So there's this piece that's coming in about releasing security. Your guidance can't show up if you're too invested in your security and if you're in too much of a protective space, because Four of Pentacles is about being miserly, right? It's about holding on to things. It's about being guarded. It's really reiterating that message. They keep reiterating that message about, please, there are no safe spaces when you're moving into love. There just isn't. It's always a risk. Anytime we're moving into that energy of love, the energy of expansion, the energy of opportunity, of endless possibility, it's always going to be a risk. It will never be safe. There's never safety in it. It's always risk. It's a vulnerability, and it requires absolute trust. So, there's this piece of, well, first of all, you will know how your guidance will show up when you get out of your own way. So this is the first step. It just really wants to reiterate that this is foundational. As soon as you get out of your own way, it will be undeniable how your guidance is showing up, because you're going to be in the flow of it. All right. So it just really wants to make this clear. It's also being, the angels can be kind of tough sometimes, just in the way they deliver messages. They're sort of like also saying to you with this cures mental illness, that it would be cures mental illness if it was upright, but it came in reverse. So it's almost like I'm hearing the angels say right now, to keep doing the same thing and yet expect a different result is insanity. So it's sort of like, get out of your own way. You can't keep doing what you've done. You need to release this false sense of security that you have. This false sense of security that you have by holding on to the way things were, this is really just like you keeping yourself in prison. It's that Eight of Swords energy. Get over it. There are no safe spaces. And you don't want to be safe. Trust. You don't want to be safe, because expansion, it can feel scary. You can look at it that way if you're too locked into this place of you have to have control over the way things pan out, all right? Which is really what excessive focus on security is about. Or instead, you can move into more of a place of excitement with it, where it can be thrilling. It's like, all right, yeah, I got nervous jitters, but usually, you can get nervous jitters before something really wonderful happens too. All right. So just try to relate to these sensations in a new way. Are you feeling a sense of nervousness because, you don't know what's up ahead? Or are you really feeling a sense of nervousness because there's a genuine threat on your path? Most of you are going to find that it's just in your head. You're feeling nervous. You're feeling a sense of anxiety about stepping into the unknown because, there's a lot there. Anything could happen. And yeah, anything can happen. So why does it have to be something bad? You know, think about how you kind of keep yourself stuck in like a really limited mind space by anticipating that the other shoe is going to drop. It's like, no, maybe things are lining up for you in the most beautiful way. So if you can just say yes to this experience, stop being so invested in the insanity of continuing to do the same thing over and over and over again and think it's going to change. And we have to remember with the Mercury retrograde energy coming in, that's interesting, that comes in right now. We have to be aware of this. A lot of times with Mercury retrograde, what happens? Sometimes we get revisited by the ghosts of mistakes past. So, you're really going to have to listen to your gut. You're going to have to trust your intuition as you have people coming around that want to make up with you, that want another go around. You have to remember the experiences you had with these people. And if you think all of a sudden everything's going to be radically different than it was before, especially if the person that's coming towards you isn't willing to do something radically different themselves, all right, you're really going to set yourself up. And it may be more comforting. You might kind of put yourself in a gilded cage by thinking it's more safe or it's more comforting to, just go back to this relationship because it's familiar and because you're nervous about stepping into the unknown, the unfamiliar, even though everything in your guts, everything you're intuitively being guided to do tells you to move in this new direction, all right? You're really going to set yourself up. You're going to set yourself up and you're going to feel persecuted because you're going to find yourself back at the crossroads again. Right? It's not a good place to be. Not when you're just starting to feel some momentum and some forward motion. So do be aware of that. All right. Okay. We got it. We got the memo, right? We know. We need to let go. I know. You have to reiterate it. I know, but we know. We'll trust. We'll work on it, Spirit. We'll work on it. How else will our guidance show up? How else will our guidance show up, Spirit? More that we're not looking at. Something fell on the floor there. More that we are likely to miss if we're not paying attention. Both came upside down, landed on the floor. Ooh, okay. This is coming in very strongly for Fire Sign Collective. Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Alemia, the hidden god. Divine power guards against mental troubles. It's in reverse, okay? Seven of Wands, Rael, the expected god. Liberation, deliverance from enemies, both visible and invisible. Okay, both are in reverse. So this means getting stuck in old cycles, kind of putting yourself back in the position you're trying to get liberated from all over again, all right? Not having that deliverance from the stuff that is keeping you stuck, that is causing you to be in this struggle. And it comes from acting out of that Queen of Wands in reverse energy, all right? So this can be in being selfish, being competitive, not really considering what's for the highest good. It can be overly controlling, domineering. It can also be using the sexuality in a manipulative way to gain an advantage, using sex as a weapon. It's the dark side of the Venus energy. Venus is love and war. This is like the war side. It's got very like Trojan horse kind of energy, the whole Helen of Troy thing, in matters of the heart, competitiveness around love, And also for those of you who find that you've been put in some kind of situation where you're being forced to compete for love, you need to abandon that hill. That's not the hill you're meant to stand and fight on, okay? You're meant to like lay down those swords. If you're, again, it's that message that came through. If you're having to struggle for it, if you're having to fight for it, if you're having to like be manipulative to achieve it, or exercise some kind of unethical control in this situation, it's not for you. It's not for you. You're just getting caught up in the shadow. And there's a price to pay for that. There's a price to pay for that. You'll realize it when you get your wish. You know, it's one of those things like, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Okay, let's say you win the battle. You get what you want. You won the competition. It's all yours. The prize is all yours. First of all, anything that would require you to behave in an unethical way or in a combative way to get your way is not going to be a prize. And you'll recognize that when you get your wish fulfillment. You'll realize how you shot yourself in the foot. You'll feel the stress of what you've earned. It's like you'll have to own the backside of those actions, you know? You'll have to see what that gets you. You're going to realize how much you actually put yourself in a bind. You put yourself in a bind. And you're really going to recognize that what you were fighting against, these people that you were competing against for this opportunity, for this person, you know, big love vibes coming up though, you know, for the Venusian energy to come forward and that whole thing about, you know, Helen of Troy and the Trojan horse, all that symbolism. It's really coming up in matters of the heart, you know, and that sort of mentality about all's fair in love and war. It's sort of like you don't realize how you're setting yourself up. You don't realize how you're setting yourself up for a fall. But when it all comes out in the wash, what you'll realize is you're the one who's going to take the fall. And the enemy that you were fighting outside, it actually was within, you know, actually was within. You know, this is the thing you're being asked. First of all, again, it's about relinquishing control. Okay. You're not looking at this. This may be one way that you are trying to exert control that you're not aware of. You may feel that you've been put in a competitive situation by somebody. Maybe somebody's involved you in some kind of third party dynamic or brought some kind of drama to your doorstep. And so you got entangled in it, but not by your choosing. And that is a very unfair position to be in. And I can understand how a person could be really riled up in a situation like that and would want to hold people accountable, right? But there's this piece about if you make that what you stand for and what you fight for, you're actually getting yourself entangled and embroiled in that competitiveness, in that drama, and you're only working against yourself. The best thing you can do in a situation like that is yield the field. Okay. Again, don't move out of that Queen of Wands in reverse energy where you give away your power like that, because that's what it is. You're meant to have that energy upright. You're meant to be empowered, in full possession of your will, of your own free will to choose what's right for you. And if somebody is putting you in a situation where now you're like all of a sudden competing for somebody's love, affection, attention, first of all, that ain't love. That ain't love. That's not what love is about. All right. That's ego. That has nothing to do with love. So your best bet is yield the field, right? Yield the field. Take the L. It's so much wanting to reiterate this point about you got to let go control. You got to stop fighting for things. You got to just trust what flows naturally to you and what feels good. If it's the struggle bus, you need to get off that bus. You need to transfer. You need to transfer. You need to hop on a new bus that's going a new route. Hop on that magical mystery machine bus, you know, see where that takes you. You're going to have a much funner ride, and it's going to be a lot more relaxed. There's Scooby snacks on that ride. Okay. There's some laughs on that ride. You got a whole interesting cast of characters on that ride. And don't worry, the villains will be revealed in the end. And it's always comical, isn't it? Who's revealed in the end? It's always comical, you know, and you may really discover that you might have been, you know, sort of creating these villains that weren't even there. You might have been shadow boxing the whole time. Okay, so you got to yield the field, stop fighting for things, Stop fighting for things. If you're fighting for it, it's not meant for you, all right? It's not meant for you. Really wanted to reiterate that. Some of you are just not willing to see this. You feel justified in your position. I get it, okay? I get it. If somebody did you like that, that's foul. I understand why you feel the way you do. You might feel very self-righteous, but you just yield the field. Don't engage in it. Don't harmonize with that energy. Why would you want to harmonize with that? Go where it flows, not where it's a struggle. Okay. How else will you be able to notice the way the guidance is showing up on your path? Two of Wands. By looking forward. They're so funny. They're just like, we're just going to keep telling you the same thing over and over and over again. Two of Wands, Jaleel, the helping God, love and wisdom, victory over those who would attack you by aligning with that energy of love, right? By going forward with that, yes, going where it feels good, going where it's easy, going in the direction that inspires you instead of being mired in all this like fear, competitiveness, clinging, holding on to things, that's not the way. You got help on your side, all right? Your job is to like look out on the horizon and start dreaming up a new future. Where would you like to go? What excites you? What interests you? Where do you want to explore? Tap into that energy. It's sort of like now it's time to sort of like choose items to explore, on your menu of life. You don't have to, totally fully co-sign on, these things that you explore. You're just opening up your exploration right now. You're taking your first tentative steps on the path of the Fool. You're not meant to get to the final destination right off the bat, right? There's this whole journey that's about to unfold for you. And you're at the beginning stages and you don't know this way. You've never been in this direction. There's a lot for you to learn and you're going to learn as you go. So right now, just start looking towards your future. Stop looking back there. Stop getting distracted by anything that happened back there. Okay. Just look towards your future and start dreaming a bit. What would you do if you had all the resources you needed, at this time show up for you just like that? What would you do? What do you want to explore? What do you want to call in? Where do you want things to go now? Okay. Don't worry about how you'll get there. Just sort of like be willing to dream it up. Be willing to look towards your future in a different way, right? That's the first way you'll start to have that guidance show up for you. You have to first, set the template. Set the template. What would you like to see happen? What would you like to explore first? Then the guidance will start to show up for you. And choosing love, choosing love, choosing to just take the wisdom from the experiences you had, even if they were rotten, all right? Tuck those in your heart and move forward on this new path, knowing that, okay, yeah, that was raw. That was a rough deal back there. I went through a lot of shit. But at least now I know I'm moving towards a path of heart. I'm choosing to follow my heart and what feels right for me. And I know I can't go wrong really when I choose growth. There's no way I can mess up if I choose growth, right? That's going to help really align you with the guidance that needs to show up on your path. It will start coming in for you. And there's this piece here, King of Cups, Rochelle. It's in reverse. That's water sign collective. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, God seeing everything. Restitution, finds stolen objects and discovers the person responsible. Okay, again, I'm getting big that South Node Scorpio energy, that you got to be aware that if you are too focused on, Scorpios have a tendency to want to really like, I'm going to find out who's responsible and I'm going to hold them to it, because when a Scorpio gets dinged, man, it's because somehow they were in a vulnerable position or they shared some kind of vulnerability. They entered into some kind of intimacy and that was violated. And so when a Scorpio's dinged, man, that stinger, it comes out. They want to hold people accountable. And it's like, there's this tendency right now to invest the heart space in where the wound is, right? And that doesn't allow the light to get in. If you're still focused on who you need to get back at, who you need to hold accountable, it's the same messages over and over again. It's like that is going to hold you back, right? You're going to be cut off from your guidance. If you want to find what you feel was stolen from you, if you want to recover what you feel was stolen from you, and you're going to find it in a new form, right? So let's say you lost a job opportunity, or let's say you lost out on a relationship, a love relationship. Let's say you didn't get to move into that home that you wanted to move into because somebody snuck in last moment. They pulled a shady move and it ousted you from the opportunity. Whatever it is, okay? Instead of you like focusing the energy on figuring that out back there, it doesn't matter. It already happened, okay? Like, what are you gonna do about it? What does it matter? It already happened. You already lost the relationship. You don't have the job anymore, okay? You didn't get that house. Again, it goes back to how we opened this up. Can you trust that that was for your protection? Can you trust that that was actually a directional reroute? That it was meaning to happen to open you up to your true destiny, where you're really supposed to be, where you're really going to find your happiness and fulfillment? Can you trust that? Can you move to that mindset? Because if you keep trying to rectify and find restitution in the past, you're going to stay stuck there. You're going to miss your turn of fortune. And then you're blocking your own opportunity. It's your fault. You're getting in your own way. You're going to miss the boat. Oh, it'll come. It'll come and it's going to pass you by. Why? Because you're not even going to be looking out toward the harbor. You're going to be looking back at what happened back there and trying to hold somebody accountable for what they did to you back there. It doesn't matter. The opportunity's gone. It's gone. The relationship's ruined. What does it matter? What does it matter? Do you see how silly it is? Like when you really look at it, it's like it's so silly. You're never going to get that job back. Do you really want that relationship back? You know, if somebody abandoned you or ghosted you, or if somebody like went and cheated on you, hooked up, do you really want that relationship back? Do you? You really want that back? Why are you continuing to focus on that? Why can't you just see it as what it is, the releasing of a burden? Now you can travel light, all right? Stop trying to find what you feel was stolen back there. It wasn't stolen. It was never yours to begin with. It wasn't stolen. It was never yours to begin with. Oh, you all are brutal sometimes. The way they bring through the messages. I mean, I love the angels for that reason too, though. They don't they when they need to give you tough love, they will. They'll tell you how it is. You think that was yours. It wasn't yours. That wasn't yours. So stop trying to cling to something. It's not yours. It never was meant to be. Because if it was, you'd be living that out right now. You'd be in that relationship right now. You'd be working at that job, right? You'd have that opportunity. You'd be living in that home. But it's not. It's not yours. It's not yours. You gotta take the L, man. What, you think you know better? You think you know better? Do you? You haven't been happy, right? You've been struggling, you've been stuck, you've been suffering, you've been confused. You know better? You know better? You actually do. You do know better, but you're not going to realize that until you let go of control. You stop, thinking you have everything figured out, that you have all the answers, and you allow yourself to open up to the mystery of life again by tapping into your soul. As soon as you do that, like all your answers are going to come in. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe this. As you start to move forward and you're actually like aligned with your truth and you come on board with your purpose, right? And you feel the freedom of finally getting some distance from this thing. I think that's the thing for most of the collective is like, you've been fighting for this. You've been holding on to it. You've been grappling with it for so long. You got so much invested in it because this is my wish. You're just being stubborn. You're being so stubborn about it, you just won't let it go. You're so stubborn. You're so sure it's this. You need to be right. And you're not. You're not right. You're wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Because if you were right, you would be in that relationship right now. If you were right, it'd be feeling good. You'd be happy. You wouldn't be struggling. You'd be moving forward with lots of ease, lots of grace. You'd be easing on down that road. You'd be content. You'd be at peace, but you're not feeling that. So can you admit maybe you're wrong? Oh, it's such a beautiful revelation to have. That can be a tower in and of itself, can't it? Especially if you get a little bit too self-righteous, a little too judgmental, a little too invested in your ego. It can be kind of a big fall. It's that Humpty Dumpty had a great fall moment. Sometimes you got to fall apart in that way. Sometimes you have to go, oh my God, I was wrong. This wasn't my person. Boy, I was wrong. I didn't make the smartest choice back there when I chose this person. I shouldn't have never, fought so hard for this job because man, actually I'm kind of glad it didn't work out. I really was miserable there. I wasn't satisfied. And I don't know what I'm going to do now, but whatever I'm going to do, it sure as hell is going to be better than that because I ain't going to go back that way. Right? Let yourself be wrong. Let yourself be wrong. As soon as you let yourself be wrong, then you let yourself feel out what's right. And it'll start to show up on your path, okay? Get out of the way. Get out of your own way. Stop fighting for what was never yours to begin with. What's meant for you will never pass you by. It will never pass you by, right? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And guess what? Those unhealthy soul ties are some of your most beautiful lessons. They really are. They're a gift. It's those most difficult lessons that come through, an unhealthy relationship, an abusive relationship, um, a situation where we felt like we were treated unfairly. If you really think about it, those experiences, they come along as teachers on our path. They're great deaths. They're los grandes muertes, and they come forward to initiate us. Where we have to really dive very deep into our subconscious waters. We have to dive really deep into our shadow. We have to look at the ways that we lie to ourselves, sabotage ourselves, compromise ourselves, give ourselves away, sacrifice our power to false idols. You can make a lover a false idol, and you can really lose your freedom because you give it away. You give your power away. You martyr yourself, you know? And when you realize that, it's hard, it's painful, it's difficult to look at stuff like that. But the moment that you realize that, once you have that awakening, that awareness, you will never, ever, ever allow yourself to be a prisoner of love again, because love doesn't put you in a cage. Love doesn't come with shackles. That's when you really come into the love within yourself and you really understand what love is, you know, and that it's not really about something outside of yourself ever. And it's absolutely beautiful, right? It's beautiful when we can come into love with another who's already arrived at the place of love within themselves. And when you can be with each other in that unguarded way, you can really come together on a soul level, a level of soul recognition, right? But you never can find it outside of yourself if you haven't found it within yourself first. You can't. And I know there's been a meme that's gone around that like disputes that, like that says that, how do you expect to find love if you don't love yourself? And they're saying, oh, that's shaming people. No, it's not. That is not shaming people. It's the truth. It's the truth. And to like put out this false narrative that that's shaming people, that you can never recognize love in another until you recognize it in yourself. It is the truth. Because if you can't come to that place of love, it doesn't mean that you're not worthy of love. You of course you're worthy of love. You are love. That is the true nature of who you are. But if you cannot see it, you will never recognize it in another. You won't. You won't. Instead, you will find everything that is unlike love. And why? Because to enter the house of love, you first have to face and confront everything inside of you that is unlike love. And if you say, I want love, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. I want love. I want to find that love in another. I want to see that mirror. I want to see that reflection of love. And if you haven't arrived there within yourself, well, then you're going to be reflected in your lover, everything in you that is unlike love through their actions, the way they treat you. We have to understand that relationships are mirror. Actually, all of life is relationship. Everything is in a state of interrelation in life. All of nature is in an interrelated state. Nothing can exist separate of itself. The separation is the lie. The separation is the illusion. The truth is unity. So, no, let's call out the truth. Like, why do we have to be so PC and so guarded and so careful about everything we say? No, that is the truth. Until you recognize the truth of that love is who you are, and you arrive at that place inside of yourself where you love yourself enough and you value yourself enough to know, I am worthy of love because love is who I am, and love doesn't hurt. Love is not painful. Love does not abandon. Love does not judge. Love feels like that soft place to land. Love feels supportive. Love feels encouraging. Love feels good. It feels fucking good. Love feels good. Right? Love feels good. So if it don't feel good, then what's holding the reins at that time? It's the fear. Now, can you work through fear in relationship, right? In love, as you're bumping up against vulnerability, when you touch into those trauma spaces where you were violated in your trust before, where it wasn't safe to be in intimacy, right? Of course you can. Of course you can. But love has to be there. You have to be of an awareness where you at least recognize that I know that I'm worthy of love. And I know that I'm a valuable person. And I know that what I have to share is valuable. And I know that I deserve to be treated with kindness and with respect. And I also treat others in that way. I want to treat others that way. I want to meet others in that space. Until you can recognize that within yourself, that you are deserving of that, you won't be able to attract to you and experience through a lover, through your mirror, that can actually do that healing work with you. But when you find that, oh, it's so beautiful, right? It's beautiful. And that opportunity is available. That is something also coming around. Yeah, we got Mercury retro. Yeah, we got lots of new beginnings. Yep, we got destiny brewing. Some people will be healing relationships, and that is your destiny. There is somebody that you are meant to reconnect with. There is somebody you're meant to heal with, but you will know. You don't need to struggle for it or fight it or try to force that person to come back around you, or, you know what I'm saying? This is about trusting the flow of your life. And if you are meant to heal with somebody, it will become so freaking evident, because all manner of synchronicity is just, it's going to throw you in each other's faces. It's going to line up. Nothing's going to stop that meeting of souls at this point. That's what's coming in. That's what's coming in. You know, there's so many soulmate connections coming in. And it's soul family, really, okay? It's not just, we're all one collective soul family, really, at the end of the day, but certain characters, you know, that are meant to be with you this next leg of the journey, they're going to be coming around. And yeah, some of you will be healing relationships, but you'll know if that's the case because this person's going to be conscious this person will have activated the love inside of themselves. They'll know that they're worth that healing, right? They'll be connected with that heart space. They'll know that it's worth it. They'll know it's worth the investment. They'll want to be in it with you. They'll want to go to those places with you. They won't shy away from it. They're not going to come around. They're not going to come around and try to sweep everything under the rug. They're not going to be like, oh, we're not going to look at what happened back there. Let's just get on to the fun times. We're reunited. It feels so good, right? Let's just forget about it. No, they won't do that. They'll be in that place of like nakedness. If they're not showing up naked, totally unguarded, it ain't it. Because that's what love is. It's absolute trust. It's the willingness to trust without knowing what the outcome is going to be, right? It's just that open, unguarded space of yes, right? And this person will do the work with you. You'll know, it'll be evident by how the energy shows up, right? So where there have been challenges in relationships and you find people wanting to reunite, you will experience that during this cycle. And you may wonder, as some of these people come back around the bend, and maybe some of you have a real strong soul tie to, right? You might want to give it another opportunity, but you might be afraid and you might not know, you might feel like you don't have the right guidance. Like, should I go back to this? I mean, it came back of its own accord and I do really love this person, right? So you may question your own internal guidance at that point. You might be confused if you should give this person a chance or not. That's going to be your barometer. Is this person coming to you in love or are they coming to you in fear? All right? That's the barometer. Love is brave. Love is unguarded. Love is honest. Love will show up. Love will not put you in a runner chaser dynamic. Okay? Love is not going to do that to you. Love is going to be all in it. Love is able to hold space for the tough stuff and to know that we can speak hard truths to each other and we can look at what happened back there and we can hold it with compassion for each other, and what we went through. And we can be willing to listen and we can be willing to take ownership for where we didn't do our best. And we can really do that work to get to the other side of that and rebuild trust. Because where there have been violations of intimacy, there needs to be a rebuilding of trust. So if you have somebody coming back around and they're coming at you from this place where they want to start gaslighting you, they want to say, oh, no, it didn't go down like that. Or, oh, let's just let the past be the past. Well, come on, let's just have fun. Don't do that. Don't take it back. No. You know what I'm saying? Yes to saying no to those kind of situations, because that's just going to take you right back into the same old BS. And it doesn't mean that you have to like have any kind of animosity towards that person. It just means you ain't there. You're still afraid. You're still closed off. You're not willing to be open. You're not willing to be vulnerable. You're not willing to be raw. But for those of you who do have that come in and you get to experience a beautiful reunion and healing in a relationship with somebody who's like, all right, take my hand, let's do it. Let's go into the muck together. That's a beautiful thing. And if you find that coming around for you, bless that up, man. Bless that up and all the challenges it brings, because it's very rare to find somebody in life who will go there with you. And if you find somebody who's willing to go there with you and heal your relationship on that level, that's a blessing. All right. So you'll know. You gotta pay attention, pay attention to how you're feeling. And are you moving out of fear or are you moving out of love? That's going to be your barometer, right? And that's how it's going to align you with your guidance on your path. If you're feeling fear, if you're feeling, that place like I'm operating out of fear, I'm closing off, I'm contracting, I'm trying to control, I'm not trusting, it doesn't feel right, I feel too scared, and there's not the actions to back it up, like the safe space isn't being created, that ain't it. If you're finding yourself entering into this combative space with this person again, You're finding the old push pull. No, that ain't it. All right. It's going to flow. What's meant to come together now will be brought together. But you got to just let it flow, and you got to trust what the energy tells you. Okay. So that's how your, that's how your guidance is really going to show up for you. All right. Now we're going to look at, what does my intuition need confirmed in this moment? So just tap into this again. I did set this at the beginning of the read, but I know there's people who've come in since I first started. So at this moment, just recall, if you already set this, if you haven't, just recall that opening issue you've been grappling with, that thing that you've been struggling with, or where you feel like in the dark, like you don't really have the answers, but maybe you've kind of had a hint, your intuition is kind of like tipped you off, but you're not sure if you can trust what you're feeling about it. Bring that thing you've been grappling with to the front of your consciousness right now, because I'm going to get a confirmation of what you need to do. It's around an action you need to take, a direction you need to take, a choice you need to make. Hold that in the front of your consciousness right now, because we're going to see what is coming in as confirmation of your intuition. Okay, it's going to be this card we pull is all going to be about a confirmation of your intuition. It's kind of like the angels proving themselves to you. They're kind of saying, we're going to prove to you that we've been paying attention, we've heard you, we know what you need, we've been listening, and yes, you're hearing correctly. The angels also want you to start trusting your intuition more. Your guides are wanting you to trust your intuition more, right? Because it's all one energy. And I don't care. I'm a freak, man. I'm going to bring my freaky stuff in, all right? Your guides are just another aspect of you, right? Your guides are just another aspect of you. They're like an exalted aspect of you. That energy is it's just another aspect of you. It's all one energy, okay? So this is just sort of like the angels are going to prove to you that, you already know what you need to do, and you already know the choice you need to make. They're going to confirm it with the card that comes out here. I don't know. I felt really just pulled to play with the cards in kind of a weird, dynamic, different way today, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I just really want to flow with readings and just do what sounds like interesting or fun or different, and explore. So I kind of like this concept. All right, show us the proof is in the pudding, angels. What is the confirmation on our intuition? What is the confirmation on our intuition? Go ahead and confirm our intuition. Landed right in my lap, I have to say. The world, Dhamma, God, the source of wisdom, fountain of wisdom, gives success in all ventures. The confirmation of your intuition is that you already know that something is over. You already know that it's time to move on. And you know in the deepest part of your being that by you moving on, it's actually what's going to lead you to success. In your quiet moments, when you're balanced, when you're in your energy, when you're not distracted by anybody's drama, when you're in that place of peace, maybe when you're sitting in nature, or when you're cuddling up with your dog and giving him some pets, or when you're on a nice walk, or maybe listening to some really good music and you just feel very at ease, very at home in yourself, you know that it's the right thing for you to bring this chapter of your life to a close. You know it was the right choice to let this thing go. And you know that by doing so, you step into absolutely everything that you've been waiting for. You know that everything that you've wanted is on the other side of letting this thing go and closing it. You know it's done. You know it's done. It's just that there's like this bittersweet sentimentality in it where it's like you're sad to see it go. There's a part of you that's sad to see it go. And what brings forth so much the sadness and the bittersweetness is that you know that at one point this was your dream, right? It was like your dream come true. It was that thing that lit you up. It was the thing that inspired you, that made you feel so excited and so hopeful. And it's the thing you risked for, and it's the thing you gave your all to because you believed in it. And it woke up that part of you, right? It like woke up the dreamer in you. It made you feel such beautiful feelings in your heart. Hello, Elisa. Greetings. Good to see you. You know that it at one point it was your end all be all. And what a ride it took you on, right? What a ride. And there's a big part of you that's sad to see it go. There's that part of you that it filled you with so much. When it was good, oh, it was so good, right? When it was good, it was so sweet. And so there's the part that really feels the sadness that it's time to say goodbye to that part of your life, you know, that chapter, that time, that person. But you know that on the other side of this is everything that you've been looking for. And you're carrying forward so much with you from that experience. There's so much wisdom you gained from it. You got some real pearls from that experience. And you're going to realize what a blessing that wisdom is you gained in the future because it's part of what you're going to move forward into. It's going to serve you well and it's going to bring you so much success. You're moving into a very successful time in your life. And it all depends on you releasing this because you know that you have grown. You're not who you were back when you first had that dream, are you? You're not who you were when you first started down that road. And now there's more awaiting you. So if you were so excited and so full of life and enthusiasm for this thing back then, just think about what's coming your way now that you actually chose growth and you're ready to move forward and let this go. So I think it's important when we're releasing anything that was very dear, very special to us, to really honor it for the rite of passage it is. And maybe there's something you need to do to really honor what a significant connection, experience, time of life that this was for you and how foundational it was to your growth. What I'm really getting is instead of looking at it so harshly, right? Like, we always think of this as like, oh, cutting the cord cutting rituals. And yes, that's a very important part. Doing that extraction and release work is a very important part of doing our shadow work. But we often forget the part about the rituals where we give gratitude and thanks for the experience, even if it was painful. And I feel like this is coming forward right now. I think that you're needing to create a closure for yourself. You know, maybe a lot of you are dealing with experiences where, you're not going to get closure in the way that you would like to have it. Maybe that person ghosted you, or maybe it's not appropriate, to reach out and have that tangible, um, real life experience, 3D experience of closure. That could be for many reasons. Maybe that's for your safety. Maybe you wouldn't be ready to receive that person's truth at this point. Maybe it could really like set you back and you don't realize that right now. Again, it's about saying yes and trusting. Maybe that person's not in a place where they even have the consciousness or awareness, to even be able to provide anything that would be beneficial for that closure. So it's not about forcing it, right? It's about trusting it. It's about letting it go. And maybe you need to create that closure for yourself by creating some kind of meaningful, personal, meaningful ritual where you give gratitude, where you give thanks, where you lovingly release it. And you release it in such a way, even no matter how heavy the experience was or what anger you have, you can always release it by expressing gratitude for the strength you've gained from it, the resilience, the awareness, the growth, the sense of self-esteem, right? Your desire to reach for something more for yourself because you know you're worthy of more, okay? Your courage, right? So you can thank this lost opportunity or um, failed relationship or whatever the experience may be. You can release it by thanking it for the lessons it gave you and what you learned from the process. And that is so self validating and it's very empowering when you provide yourself this kind of closure and really make a ceremony of it. There's this piece that we've really lost, as we've gone on in civilization and advanced as a civilization, if you call it advancement. I mean, technology is wonderful in some ways, but the more that we have advanced, we've also really lost connection with our roots. We've lost connection with the earth. And, there's this piece about, you know, our ancestors used to do this. They honored the rites of passage in life, and having a significant loss of a relationship or having a loved one pass, that maybe you didn't get to have closure with, there's many different ways this can manifest. Going for that dream, you really poured everything into it. You believed you could do it, and it didn't work out, and you had to let it go. These are all big moments that are rites of passage in our lives. And there's something to be said for, reinvigorating some of those practices of our ancestors where you honor it as the rite of passage. You give it some reverence. It's powerful. It's very life affirming, actually. It really helps you honor also the cycles of life and recognize that each cycle of life serves its purpose, even the losses, even the deaths, even the things we have to release. Something is gained. It's never a loss because life isn't stagnant. It keeps flowing, it's ever evolving, and it ebbs, it flows. The wheel of fortune, it keeps turning. Sometimes you're on the top of that wheel of karma, and sometimes you're on the bottom, but we know it keeps spinning. That big wheel in the sky keeps it turning. It don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. All right. You don't know. You just got to go for the ride, and you got to allow yourself to flow with it. And you can flow with more grace the more you really honor what deserves to be honored because it meant something to you. And that's important, closing it out. This also might be coming forward very strongly for the fixed signs, or you might have been dealing with a fixed sign in regard to this. So that would be Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus. Okay. So this could be characters in your own personal life story that you're having these issues with as far as closing cycles and having release, or you could have those signs strongly aspected in your chart. And, these are areas where you're having trouble releasing, where you might need to create closure for yourself. So get to know your chart and look at where you might need to create some closure for yourself or come to some acceptance with the ending of a cycle, because this is what brings the new beginning for you, right? So that's a confirmation of your intuition. Belief systems are changing. What I thought was spiritual truth is all up in the air, like the fool moving forward is a leap of faith. Yes. Yes. Absolutely, Elisa. And that is that energy of Pluto in Aquarius. The fool is Aquarius energy. All right. So you got Pluto there. I mean, combine that Aquarian energy of the fool, that spirit of Aquarius, which is like, I'm going to be a trailblazer. I'm just going to head out into the unknown with a lot of enthusiasm, optimism. I'm going to be excited. I'm ready to move into expansion. I'm ready to do things a little differently. I don't care if I look a little silly doing it. It's going to be fun. That's very Aquarian energy. Very expansive. Like, I'm going to go where the wind carries me kind of energy, right? You know, you combine that with Pluto, you know, like the Maverick, moving out of pocket, being a little daring, taking a risk. It's sort of like think of it as the Page of Swords kind of energy. It's like Aquarius embodying that Page of Swords energy. Like, I'm going to do the unexpected. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to be daring. I'm going to have a leap of faith. Aquarius rising here with the Libra sun and Pisces moon. Ah, you know what this is all about. You know what it's all about. Yeah. It's about having that courage, having some daring. All right. I'm not going to sit here and focus on the fear. I'm going to stay focused on the love. I'm going to trust I have reasons to be optimistic, you know? I'm going to get excited. Okay, yeah. You know, anything can happen. I don't know what's up ahead, but man, it could be a real good time, right? It could be a real good time. And why wouldn't it be? If you're getting out of a really difficult cycle where everything has just been just such a pain in the ass, you have every reason to believe that it's going to be nothing but, you know, fun times up ahead. It doesn't mean you're never going to have a challenge, but you're moving into a lighter, brighter time of your life. You should be feeling good about it, to be free of this stuff that you've been struggling with. It's going to be so like, so relieving, you know? Like you finally get to put down the bags. It's a great thing. It's nothing to be afraid of, all right? Nothing to be afraid of. All right, so now, last thing we're going to look at, and I'm going to pull from both decks on this, all right? We're going to look at what do our guides need us to know right now? And I think we already know. I mean, they told us over and over and over again. It's just being reiterated, but we'll let them give us a tongue lashing one more time. You know, we'll let them kind of drill the message home. But yeah, I don't know. They might throw us a curveball. They might throw us a curveball. Anything's possible. What do our guides want us to know right now? What do the guides, the angels, the ascended masters, a higher consciousness, your ancestors, fairy, goddess, God, you know, the great beyond, however you choose to relate to it, your star family. Since that came in earlier, that's the first time that's ever come in for me. That never comes in for me. So I must have some new people here who are tapped into that energy. So welcome, welcome. What do our guides need us to know right now? What do our guides need us to know right now? What do our guides need us to know right now? I got a lot of sentience coming in. In reverse, okay? Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Laisabel, God, the teacher, intellectual talent, provides knowledge. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. That what I really got from this is they're saying the hard work is over. The hard work is over. You know, you've done the work. Can you trust in it? Can you trust in it? Can you stand on it? You know, you've done the work. You've been doing your healing work, right? Obviously, you must be. You're here, right? I'm reading for this collective. You're here. You've been doing the work. Like you feel good about what you've done. You've done the work. You've been working on your healing. You've been taking accountability. You've been doing your best. You've been investing your energy. And it's like you're being told, okay, now relax, like let go, trust that you've done the work and just watch. Watch as you let go. As you let go, it's all going to start coming in for you. That's the thing is you're still trying to work, you know? You're still trying to toil. You don't need to toil anymore, right? Just allow yourself to be led to the next step. You're going to watch it all unfold now, right? So I think that's the first thing they want us to know right now is that we don't have all this work and toil up ahead of us. We're stepping into our reward for, you know, taking accountability, for choosing growth, for following our hearts, for wanting to move into that expansion and doing what's necessary and releasing what's necessary to get there. So that's a good sign. Okay, what else is coming in? What do we need to know right now? Angels, what do we need to know right now? What do our guides need us to know right now? What do our guides need us to know right now? We know, we got the memo. We need to relinquish control. We need to close these cycles. We need to trust. We need to face forward and stop looking back so we get immobilized. It's time to move. There's actually movement. We're now being asked to move forward. Like it's time to move. We were held up at the crossroads for a long time. We're being asked to move. We're being asked to take an action right now. We are being asked to make a choice. We are being asked to step out of the crossroads. We're being asked to stop looking at the past and start planning our future in terms of just what would we like to dream into being. Just start planting the seeds, and then you'll start getting the confirmation on your path which of those seeds is going to really bear fruit, which direction you should head in. And it's all about really getting in touch. So just allow yourself to dream right now. I love it. It just confirmed what I just said. Hello, Star Love Angel. Knight of Pentacles. That's what the Knight of Pentacles does. He holds the Ace of Pentacles that we got earlier. He holds the seed. He wants to plant the seed. He has a vision for his future. That's what they just brought in. Yeah. This is about your new beginning. What do you want to make it? What do you want to make it? Okay. It's time to stop looking at what happened back there. Do what you need to do to create closure for yourself. And where do you want to plant that seed of manifestation? What do you want to grow in your garden of earthly delight? Now's the time to really start putting more focus in that direction. Put your focus up ahead. That Two of Wands energy. Think of traditional tarot, the Two of Wands, right? The figure is standing there looking out toward the horizon, a wand on each side, wanting to come into alignment with my destiny. I'm wanting to come into alignment with that path that's meant for me, where I'm going to have my greatest fulfillment. And holding the world in your hand, it can be whatever you want it to be. You can plant any seed you want to plant. Plant it from a place of love. Plant it from a place of yes, that thing that excites you. Just take a little time right now to dream. And then whatever comes through that inspires you, like, that interests me, that excites me, that feels like a yes. It doesn't have to be your end destination. Just plant that seed, okay? Plant that seed and go and take an action towards it and explore it. One seed will lead to another seed, okay? That's what it's like when you're creating your field of dreams, when you're sowing your field of dreams. Just because you plant one seed doesn't mean that that's the seed that's going to be the source of everything that's coming in for you. It's a piece. And it might be a piece that just calls you forward, that opens you up to a new experience that then draws you in another direction, or you go and explore this thing. And like, let's say you're like, I've always wanted to go to one of those gatherings where, it's like wine and art, you get to do wine tasting and you paint a picture, there's these kind of events that they do where you learn how to paint a particular picture, and they serve wine and there's hors d'oeuvres, and maybe you've always wanted to do something like that. It's just a little thing, but you think about this and it may seem small, but something inside of you is like, yeah, I kind of want to do that. That sounds like fun. I want to explore that. And maybe it feels a little bit kind of like, ooh, I feel a little nervous about that because I've never really thought I had any artistic talent. I don't know. I got to go and paint. This might be a little awkward, but it's a new experience. You've always wanted to try it. Feels like a yes. Go ahead. Go. Go and take that class, Go take that painting class and enjoy the wine and, enjoy the hors d'oeuvres. And while you're there, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I just met this person and we have a lot in common. Oh, and they're really into yoga like me. And they know a really great yoga teacher. Oh, I've never encountered this yoga teacher before. Okay, yeah, let's go to yoga class together. So now you have a friend. Now you got like a spiritual compadre on your path. And you end up finding out you and this person, you have a lot in common, you really get along. You take this yoga class and you're in the yoga class and you're like, wow, the way this person teaches this yoga class, I'm really like, I'm getting something very different out of this than I've ever gotten from any yoga class before. And soon you start to have this passion awaken in you and you're like, maybe I want to teach yoga. Okay? And then that leads you to another thing and another thing and another thing. All right. So you're being asked right now, it may seem like small things, okay, with the Knight of Pentacles. Because we have to remember with the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles promises that whatever seeds plant, they come to ultimate fruition, right? The Knight of Pentacles sees it through. There's follow through. Whatever is planted will bear fruit. It will lead to some kind of harvest. And what is planted may seem small, but it's never small because it's all in the details. And small things lead to big results, okay? So it's really about tapping into this energy right now. And just think about, what are you in alignment with? What feels like a yes to you right now? What is something that you can explore or an action you can take that feels good to you? And for some of you, it might be just something small. And for others of you, you already have some ideas about things you want to start investing in, but you've just been putting off taking the steps. You've been making excuses. You've been procrastinating. Now's the time to take a step. Take a step. And then you'll see where it leads. One thing will lead to another, and it promises to lead to something really beautiful, really beautiful. And as you do this, you're going to move out of that place of struggle, right? And you're going to find that life can be more pleasurable, and that there are things to be excited for, that there's reason to have excitement around new beginnings. I love that. I love that. It's really beautiful. Okay, and let's see what the owl tarot has to say about this. The tarot of the owls. Let's get a bird's eye view, because it's always nice to have kind of that panned out perspective, right? Where we can get a little space where we can see things objectively. We can get the lay of the land. What guidance do the totems want to give us right now? What do we need to know right now? What do the totems, our spirit guides, our ancestors, our loved ones who came before us, what do our guides need us to know right now? What do our guides need us to know right now? My fetch Ted is talking, so wolf medicine, yeah. Okay, wolf medicine coming in your path. You got wolf medicine coming in. Pathfinder is coming forward. All right. There's something coming up on your path. Be on the lookout for it. All right. You're going to have a path presented to you soon. You will know that it's meant for you because everything in your instincts are going to be dinging when this thing comes in. You're about to have your path forward revealed to you. So be on the lookout for that. You got to lean into it with your feeling, with your intuition. All right. It may seem kind of unusual to you when this opportunity is presented. It's something outside the box. You haven't done this before. You may feel in some cases, I just go, oh, I got sentience. You may feel it's too good to be true. Like, how is it even possible that this is being presented to me? It might also require like a steep learning curve. You might be kind of scared about stepping onto this path. It might make you feel a little nervous. You might wonder, can I really do this? Am I capable to be doing this? Am I capable to like step into this? Am I capable to step? Oh my goodness, please, it's Mercury retrograde. Tripping over my words. Do I have the capability to step into this? Yes, you'll find your way. So get out of all the head stuff, all the worry about it, okay? You'll know that this is for you because all of your instincts are going to ding. You're just going to feel resonance. I feel like it's coming in very, very soon. Within 2 weeks, you're going to have some kind of heads up about this. I got in 2 weeks. Some of you have recently been presented this. You already know what I'm talking about. But within the next 2 weeks, something's going to come in. All right. It's going to really light it up for you. So cool. Getting ready to teach a guided meditation class to help people find the answers within. Beautiful. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Well, there you go. Ding, ding, ding. I cannot make it up. Oh my gosh, you saw me shuffling the cards. I cannot make it up. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. That path is coming, okay? Invest in this path when it appears. This is key, okay? This is one of your keys. I'll laugh if a key comes in around it too, because that symbolism came in earlier. You got a path that's about, you got a path you need to explore. It's going to be coming to you soon. It comes in the form of an opportunity. It's something you were not expecting. It may feel a bit like it comes in out of the blue. Look at this. It's kind of interesting. Isn't it wild? I'm really seeing this. You'll probably see this too. Do you notice this owl, the way this owl is walking? And with the sun above, this is really reminding me of the Fool card. It feels like it's that new direction. This is the first step onto your new path and where it's going to lead, which I feel it's going to lead to a lot of happiness with the sun here. I think you're really going to see a lot of fruition in this coming in by July. You'll really realize, like, oh, I'm so glad I took this opportunity. Okay. So be aware. It is coming in. It's the first step on your path. Second time that Knight of Pentacles showed up. I can't believe that. That's so wild. Oh, okay. All right. Three of Cups in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse. Oh, wait. I got a kind of a specific message about this. Just a minute. Are you telling me what I think you're telling? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. One more confirmation on that. One moment. Just a minute, Ted. I'll let you out just 1 second, baby. I know, honey. 1 second. I know, you need out. I'm going to let you out. 1 second. Okay, I just needed to get the card, Ted. I just needed to get the card. Here. Go ahead, babe. All right. I hope you're ready for this. So, you have somebody coming towards you. This is somebody that you had a falling out with. You had a real heart connection with this person. For some of you, this is a love, okay? It's a romantic love. For some of you, this is a childhood friend. For some of you, this is just somebody who's really, really dear to your heart that you had a falling out with and a separation from. This separation occurred because there was some kind of interference in your connection, okay? There was something that got in the way of you coming together. For some of you, this was a matter of timing. Your paths had crossed at one point after you'd had a time of separation, but when your paths crossed at that point, it was sort of just like the initiation of energy. One of you was already in a committed relationship, and so you weren't able to explore the possibility of this connection. And so it kind of just like faded away. You know, you went forward in your relationship and that played out the way it did, and they went their own way. And this person is coming back around the bend, and now the timing is right. Okay. So for some of you, it's that kind of thing. It's like missed opportunity coming back around now because the timing is right. And there's going to be a lot of feeling of celebration around this. Like we finally have our time. It's sort of like this would be a connection where it always felt sort of star-crossed, like two ships passing in the night, like just missing each other. It's got that like sliding doors vibe. You know what I'm saying? So for some of you, it's this kind of a connection, and it has that romantic feel. And this is somebody that you actually were not romantically involved with before, but maybe there was just like this special kind of connection there. You were attracted to this person, you were very drawn to them, but one of you was not available. And so it's something that couldn't be explored. This is coming back around, okay? For some of you, this is somebody that you were romantically involved with, and a third party dynamic got involved in the situation, and it caused a separation between you two. This could be that somebody cheated on you, or you could have cheated on somebody. I mean, you have to pick what side you're on, but this could have been due to infidelity. This also could have been due to just interference, like somebody being too involved in your personal business. And so there was some kind of breach of the intimacy within your connection that caused a falling out. Maybe somebody had like a connection where they were telling a friend too much of your personal business. This ended up really causing problems. This could have been a meddling family member got involved, and it just caused so much friction between the two of you, this third party interference, that it caused, the severing of your connection. Um, this is coming back around. This third party has been dropped. Okay. In either of those cases, this third party is no longer part of the picture. This element is no longer in play. This person is wanting to heal. I think that this could have something to do with a King of Wands energy, fire sign placement coming forward very strongly. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Do keep in mind that when I'm bringing forward the signs, that it's for any significant placement. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, because of the astrology in play, or a loaded house. So when we're looking in regard to this, okay, all right, I got that piece. I got a lot of download coming in right now. So this is a significant piece. I can't forget this piece. When this person comes in, do keep in mind that they could also have a loaded house. So for Aries, we got first house, right? For Leo, we have the fifth house. And for Sagittarius, we have the ninth house. Now, what I was just getting in the download is to find out who it is in your situation. To give you a clue, you're going to want to pull out your natal chart. You want to look at what you have in the first house, what you have in the fifth house, and what you have in the ninth house. Look at the signs that you have in those houses, the planets that you have in those houses. That will give you a clue as to who this person is. It's like being mirrored in those areas of your chart. And this person will also activate those areas of your chart. Okay, so we know with that Sagittarian house, the ninth house, this is about moving into expansion. It's spirituality. So this will be a very spiritual connection. There already is that kind of like soul recognition in this connection. I also feel like this is a person that you will really travel with. And when I say travel, I don't just mean like physically travel, as in go out, see the world. Maybe this person might be at a distance from you. You might first hear from them online or through a message, okay? You might not necessarily first see them in person, but it's like wanting to bring this connection. It's like an instant contact, okay? It's an invitation coming forward to reopen this connection for healing, all right? That's what I got, coming forward very strongly. In the fifth house, we know that this is pleasurable, all right? Fifth house is about romance, it's about friendship, it's about pleasure, it's about fun, all right? So this is a bright spot. This is something coming in to bring a little sweet spot into your life, okay? And then in the first house, we know that this is something that significantly is really personal to you. And it's also an important moment in your personal growth, right? You're meant to connect with this person. There is judgment around this, okay? Judgment is often reunion energy. It's like what you thought was done and dusted or gone for good comes back to life. It's like the dead comes back to life. All right. It has this kind of moment, this moment of recognition to it. It's also with judgment. This is meant for you. Okay. You're meant to go on this journey. You're meant to get this ticket and go for this ride. This is some kind of wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups. This may have even been something that you wished for at one point. It's like a wish coming true. And the reason why this is coming in now, okay, with the Three of Wands. Remember, I said the Two of Wands, you can make the world anything you want it to be, looking out toward that horizon. The two progresses to the three, all right? So maybe these initial first actions you take, it actually starts to build up to this experience, okay? The two leads to the three, which is the path where it actually moves forward, where the vision starts to come in, okay? So we see that this is going to come in. This is not something that's happening in, 5D. This is not you just doing manifestation work and envisioning. No, this is coming in. This is arriving, right? This person is coming towards you. There was heartache and separation with this person. There was a lot of pain in connection to this person. I think you've spent a lot of time missing this person, grieving this person, feeling this sense of loss. This is something that really was like a very deep heart wound, okay? This person is coming towards you because they want to see, is it possible for us to grow together? Is it possible for us to invest in healing this relationship? So it's an invitation. We know that it comes from the heart because it comes forward with the Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay. So we have water, fire factoring strongly in. It's interesting though, I'm only getting the guidance about looking to the fire sign houses to determine who this person is. And maybe that's because fire is associated with action. So there's something about the action is being mirrored in that part of your chart. It'll make sense when you look in those areas of your natal chart. It will make sense. So if you don't have your natal chart, go to AstroDienst, DIENST.com, and you can get a free natal chart there. You just need to know your birth time and where you were born, okay? And it will give you all that information. I think you're going to find it very illuminating. My mother hasn't spoken to me in years due to her crazy Christian beliefs. We shall see if her heart softens. I mean, you never know. Anything is possible. There is infinite possibility. Infinite possibility. Remember what that piece that came in, right? There was that piece that came in about you're going to have to listen to your instincts and how it feels. You have to look at how it's showing up. Is it a yes? Is it a no? All right. But there is something coming towards you here that is a yes. And the reason why I have to make that distinction brought in that reminder about, really listen to how the energy is feeling when this comes towards you. All right. You'll know. You'll know. The reason I'm bringing that in is because we are in a retrograde cycle, a Mercury retrograde cycle, and we know that sometimes the zombies come out, right? Sometimes the zombies come out in a Mercury retrograde cycle and they feast on our brains, and we don't want that, right? We don't want to go back to that place. We're not looking for situations where there's all these control mechanisms and we get into that place of mental confusion, and then soon we're back in this place not knowing what to do or where to go. We're not looking for that. You will know this when it comes. You will know, because everything inside of you is just going to be filled with like this spirit of yes, yes. And you'll know there's a sincerity there because this person is going to be willing to go there with you. They're willing to talk about the tough stuff. I want to see bottom of the deck energy on this. Temperance. Oh, temperance. It's so beautiful. Temperance. Oh, that's so beautiful, right? Temperance. Balancing it out. This is the opportunity for healing. This is the opportunity for healing. top of the deck energy, Tower. It is going to shock you when this arrives. This is a good Tower. This is a good Tower coming in here. This is going to blow your mind. You never expected this. This requires you to leap. You're going to have to leap. This is you like jumping, being forced to jump out of the nest and take flight. You're going to have to stretch your wings. This is significant. I'll tell you why this is significant. If you have not tuned in to the collective chakra read that I did last night, you got it. When you got a chance, you got it, because it was really cool what came forward. And there was this visualization that came forward of where the kind of like collective heart is at right now. And I got the imagery of a butterfly starting to come out of chrysalis. And I don't know if you've ever seen that, if you've ever witnessed a butterfly actually starting to emerge from the cocoon. But what happens first is the wings start to slowly like unfurl, like almost like flower petals. Like they start to do this unfurling process. And when they first come out, they're like so plump. They're like big, big, fat, juicy wings, right? From being in all that fluid, that held them in that space of the cocoon. And so they first have to kind of like spread open their wings very tentatively, just to allow them to sort of like dry out so they can actually take flight. And that's what I saw coming forward for the collective. I saw this image of those wings starting to emerge from the cocoon, and they're all plump. And I just saw these initial couple of like the wings just starting to warm up, but not ready to fly yet. This is going to come in and you're going to be forced to fly. Like you are going to have no choice but to take this leap of faith, because you're being forced out of the nest with this. And it's going to feel risky to you. It will feel risky to you. All right. But this is a learning experience for you with this Page of Pentacles. Okay. This is a moment of education. You are both going to learn a lot through this connection. This is just an initial first step that's coming in, okay? But there is value in opening up to this experience. You're going to learn a great deal from it, both of you, because you're both beginners in this. You've never done this before. And it's a real opportunity for growth and healing for both of you. And I'm getting this piece that's really coming in right now where it's about, please don't fall into old patterns by putting a framework around what the destination is going to look like. Just be open to the experience, okay? Be open to the experience and what it offers, and allow whatever the connection is supposed to be and whatever the experience is supposed to be, let that destination slowly reveal itself to you. You'll be heading in this direction for a bit, okay? We know that with the Knight of Pentacles. But this is one of your keys. You're right. Oh, look, there's the keys. It's true. That's one of the keys. This person is one of your keys. This person is one of your keys, and they're going to show up, and they are the beginning of unlocking your pathway forward, this door of opportunity. You should walk through this door. It's going to bring some kind of awakening on your path, and it has everything to do with growth and healing. You can screw it up by starting to try to control the experience and say, well, this has to work out with me and this person ending up together again in a relationship. If it was like an old lover, you might not. That might not be what it's about. You're going to have to trust that this was meant to come onto your path, that it's worth the investment to heal it. And you are going to know, because it's going to feel like a yes. And you're going to feel like such a pull on your energy, such a soul tug, that you're like, fuck it. I have to take this leap of faith. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it feels right. So I'm going to go there with this person. All right. It's a real opportunity. And I think this is something, that it's going to bring up some of your stuff. All right. There's a lot to balance out here, because I think this person, there's going to be some fear that comes up around this as you're working to balance this out. I think there was an imbalance in the situation before, because it was like some Seven of Swords kind of action, right? In some way, you felt ripped off, emotionally ripped off. You felt deceived. You felt like this This person really, there was injury here. Okay. There was heartache. There was injury in this situation. And somebody didn't move very ethically back there, right? Somebody did act out of their shadow. There has been an injury here. There has been an offense. And you need to be aware of that. So initially, it might be challenging, it might be scary. You might find yourself wanting to slip into that fear space. There might be this like little period of balancing where you're feeling out, is the sincerity there? Does it really feel right? You'll also know that it's right to head in this direction because this person is not going to pressure you. This person's going to come forward from a very clean place where they are not trying to hide how they caused harm. They're not going to try to skirt responsibility. In fact, they're coming forward in full ownership and they're expressing a desire for healing and to work on this with you. They want to bring things back into balance. And it's interesting because normally with the Two of Pentacles, right, we know that imbalance was created in the past. And quite possibly in a romantic relationship, this could have been juggling. Somebody had too many options. Somebody wasn't honest about that. Somebody had an affair. Okay. In other cases, there was just some other kind of instability. This could be a case where maybe somebody had some kind of addiction, and that caused a separation, a falling out. This person's gotten their act together. They want to prove that they're trustworthy, they're trustworthy. They want to get back on a solid ground with you, stable footing. It's interesting because normally the Two of Pentacles comes in as very imbalanced, right? It's like juggling energy. Look at it here. What was imbalanced comes back into alignment. That's two messages of coming back into balance because we also have Temperance, okay? So something's going to be balanced out here that's going to make up for this injury in the past. Something really beautiful comes out of it. Oh, to the tune of the Ten of Pentacles, all right? Ten of Pentacles. This is building together. This is working together, and it's something that's lasting. And it's a strong foundation for your path forward. I'm going to do one final cut of the deck energy here. Are you for real? Queen of Wands. So we have the King of Wands coming forward, and here's the Queen of Wands. Total alignment. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. This read. This is beautiful. Look at that. This is a reunion. This is a soul reunion. This is very beautiful. Look at this energy coming together. That is really quite gorgeous. I love the symbolism of that. What's on the other side of this split? Four of Wands. The celebration, the 1111 card, coming to that place of arrival, building together. There's something really beautiful here. All right, there's your first key. It looks like they wanted to give you something to look forward to, all right? That's a pretty special key coming forward there. Be on the lookout for that. It looks really good. For Fire Sign Collective, I think you're really going to see this come in rapidly. I also feel like it's the fire centers of your charts collective being activated. But there's definitely an initiation with the fire element. So I've been talking about this for a while, that there is this big time of reunion coming in where you're going to start, gathering your soul family to you. So there's going to be some reunion energy, but there's also going to be the reunion of those souls from, if you have that belief in past life, it's like old souls from past life coming back around, or people that when you meet them, there's like this sense of kindred spirit. You know what I'm saying? You just feel like this soul recognition. So we are heading into this time. This is coming in, and I do feel like it's kind of getting really kicked off and initiated with Fire Sign Collective. So if you have significant placements in fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, be on the lookout for this. It's definitely coming in. I think you all are going to have signs of this, the collective as a whole. You're going to start noticing this coming in within the next couple weeks. I got 2 weeks is what came in. I feel like it's really on its way. It's coming in. I want to get White Light Oracle. I'm just going to pull one card from here to sort of act as an overarching theme of spiritual guidance for the collective. And then we'll do the healing meditation that comes with it, so we can really just sort of like embody the energy, and it can help us, you know, with that path finding. Wolf medicine here coming in, helping us really get aligned with that path forward that wants to come in for us. So let's just go ahead and see an overarching theme to the spiritual guidance, a little overarching theme from Pathfinder, Wolf Totem, helping us really align with our path moving forward. Yeah, there's something new is being born. This Ace of Pentacles, look, it has that symbolism of the bird hatching out of the shell. So yeah, something that's been gestating for a while is about to come forward. And it's coming forward in the spring. Ace of Pentacles is a spring timing card. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Look at this. Cut of the deck energy, 7 blessings of Eve. Look at that snake of transformation heading up towards that cosmic egg. It's a gift from spirit. Pretty potent. Yeah, something is just about to begin. It's on its way. It's like it's being delivered from spirit right now. You know, it's just a matter of timing. It feels very, very close. I'm saying like next couple of weeks, I feel like you're gonna get wind of this. It's gonna come in. All right, Pathfinder, help us receive the medicine we need at this time to align with our path of purpose, the path we're meant to step forward on at this time. Wow, that was fast. Yeshi Sokyal, 333. And this cracks me up because today is our 33rd day. Today is our 33rd day of our 40-day journey toward the Aries Point. So this is just further confirmation that we really do have our guides on our side. 3 is the number of the guides. It's letting us know that there's spiritual help all around us. All we have to do is ask. All we have to do is let go of our control, you know, allow ourselves to receive that guidance, create the space for it to come in by connecting with ourselves, getting grounded, you know, stop investing in the distractions and just allow that wisdom, that guidance that we need to come in. Our intuition is going to be picking up. And I love how it's yes, she. I'm looking at it that way, even though it's yes, she, right? I'm looking at it as those two separate words merged together, yes and she. And she is making me think of the divine feminine principle, which the feminine aspect, the yin aspect, is all about softening, opening, releasing control so you can receive. So I feel this, and again, it's working with that mantra we brought in about just say yes at this time. Go with the yes, flow with the yes. If you go with the yes, if you flow with yes, it will bring you into that energy of receiving. It will help you open up to that divine feminine energy where your heart can experience that release and all this love and blessing, this new beginning that wants to pour into you from spirit. It can come in. Now, the thing when we're looking at tiger medicine helps you find courage. Okay. And tiger medicine it's tireless. It is tireless. It has resilience and it moves forward. It moves forward with purpose. It knows exactly what it's heading toward. It doesn't lose sight of its focus and it moves forward very swiftly. So remember, I brought in this piece that right now what's happening is it's the first round of karma being doled out. Okay. It's the first round of balancing karma. So what's coming in immediately is a blockbuster. Okay. Some of you already had this blockbuster moment. And right now you're currently kind of like absorbing the shock of it, right? You're like finding your equilibrium because it kind of kicked up some dust. And you had some truth revealed to yourself that shocked you. It changed your whole like your whole plans for moving forward. It really shook things up. Okay. Some of you haven't had it yet, and it's coming. Some of you, you need to be the one to deliver the tower by finally surprising somebody and letting go of this thing. You know, maybe they thought that you would always be there. Maybe they thought that, it didn't matter what they did. You would always be like old faithful, waiting there on the back burner. Okay, not so. All right. You need to find the courage to kind of deliver that blockbuster moment, that tower, by speaking your truth, standing up for yourself, and being willing to let, what was false fall away. Okay. This is about really finding that once that tower falls and there is the complete acceptance of it, recognition of it, no more clinging to it, no more trying to hold on to that, but purposeful, moving forward in action and staying, focused on the future. I'm moving ahead, and taking those actions in the moment. It's big chariot energy. It's moving forward, and it's this very positive sign that move forward, step forward now, step forward with courage. You're going to have everything you need to have resilience on your journey, everything you need to support you in moving forward toward this destiny you're moving into will show up for you. You're going to have everything you need. You have the strength for this. You have the endurance for this. You're going to go the distance, and you're going to be able to tap into that courage of it because you are going to be aligning with the path of heart. And that's what gives us courage, right? Think about it. Anytime we've really felt lit up in our hearts and we felt a sense of passion and we felt that, like, yes, fuck yes, right? Whenever we felt like that, we get very brave, right? We get so brave. We can throw caution to the wind because everything inside of us aligns and it feels like a total yes, right? Total alignment. Exactly. Total alignment. This is what's coming. And there's a lot of spiritual assistance on hand, on deck. It's going to be help guiding the way forward. You're going to have the courage to go forward. And once you take that step, you're going to move forward very purposefully. It's going to be so seamless, so seamless. You're not going to be stuck anymore. It's going to be total forward motion. This is a really beautiful, good sign. Really beautiful, good sign. You're not going to be stuck anymore. And you're also going to be really inspired. Notice the rays coming from the eyes. Like, you're going to have the vision. The vision is going to be ignited in you, and you're going to move forward so purposefully toward it because you're going to know it's right for you. Everything is going to be a yes for you. And it's in following this that you receive everything you've been praying for, everything you've been hoping for. It might not look like what you expected your answered prayer to be looking like, right? But it's everything you've been wanting. It's the key to your fulfillment. All right, let's see. Let's see what Alana Fairchild has to say about this. She's the artist who created this beautiful deck. She does beautiful acrylic paintings, a lot of divine feminine representation in her artwork. And she's written her own, meanings to this oracle. I don't tend to go by book definitions when I work with cards. I'm a channel first and foremost, so I just let come through what wants to come through, and then I allow myself to be inspired by the artwork and how it kind of like unlocks those doors of perception in my consciousness. But when working with something like this, right? Because the art piece has been coming forward so much, where somebody created this beautiful art. I mean, obviously, this art is divinely inspired. There's such musing energy here. I really want to acknowledge that. So I want to let the artist speak in her own words what this piece of art meant to her and her intention behind it. I find it often has threads with what came in for me, which is interesting because art is just another manifestation of energy, right? It's all one energy. So it's all art is kind of birthed out of the collective on some level. All right, so let's read this. And then she has a beautiful, she calls it a healing process. It's sort of like a very brief meditation. And I think that's a nice way for us to close this read so we can really embody it, kind of kind of sit with it over the weekend until Tuesday when we meet again to head into our final week. Can't believe it's going to be our final week of this, but don't worry, we'll just take a little break and another one will be coming around at summer solstice when we move into Pitta. So she says, you shall overcome all obstacles. Success is imminent. So stay connected to your path no matter what and continue to apply yourself. Everything that came forward in the read, I love it. Allow your spiritual path to support you in all areas of your life. Live by your spiritual beliefs. Seek out the support of your spiritual brothers and sisters for help when needed, but also trust that you are intimately and directly connected to the powerful divine light within. There can be a dramatic healing breakthrough when you rely upon your spiritual connection. Oh, I love it. It's just echoing the message of you don't need an intermediary. You just need to open up to the truth of who you are and align with that. Then you'll be able to align with that, in your earth walk. You'll find those opportunities, those experiences, that abundance, that love, all of that coming in because you're already all of that. That's who you are in your purest essence. I'm going to go ahead and read this because I feel like it's significant and this felt like a significant read to me. I think it's important at this stage. So I'm going to go ahead and read everything she wrote for this and not just the opening paragraph. Spiritual teachings from Bhutan hold that the great Indian master Padmasambhava was called to Bhutan from Tibet to subdue demons that were causing difficulties for the people of the Paro Valley. He flew from Tibet to Bhutan on the back of a supernatural tigress, landing at a cave high up in the cliffs of Bhutan. He spent the next 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days meditating and performing rituals to subdue the demons of the land, liberating Bhutan from terror. The supernatural tigress is believed to have been Yeshi Shogo, a yogini guardian for humanity and an emanation of the compassionate goddess of peace, prosperity, and long life, known as White Tara. And White Tara comes in different forms. And it's interesting because this came in the heart piece in that chakra read. I'm telling you, tune into the chakra read. Butterfly medicine is the medicine of working with different colors. Okay, you work with different colors to embody, to grok the medicine of butterfly, which is the medicine of transformation and creativity and birthing new creations and bringing new things into being. And so there's many different ways you can do that. And I talked to you about that in that chakra read. But it's interesting because they're distinguishing White Tara. And Tara comes in different forms. So there's green Tara, okay? Green Tara is about taking action, right? Green Tara is always represented with her right foot forward. And there's a reason for that. It's because she's taking a step. She's doing something, she's taking charge. Red Tara is all about working more of that left-hand path of Tantra. And it's about working with the sexual energy in a transformational way. There's many different forms of Tara. White Tara, though, as is exemplified here, is about sensitivity. I love this because we've been bringing this in the reads. We've been talking about sensing, feeling your way through, engaging your senses, having a sensual experience, and the way connecting with this in a rooted way through our body, our senses, also allows us to open up to the higher channels of guidance, psychic awareness, expansion in a way that's very rooted, grounded, safe, right? So I love that this is coming in like this. And this is showing you a key that is so important at this time to be in that receptive, soft, sensing space where we can receive these blessings that want to come in for us. Because remember, it's not going to be hard work. You did the hard work. Now it's time for you to let go so you can actually receive the results of that investment of you putting your time, your energy, your focus on your growth. Now it's time to see the other side of that. You got to let go. You got to move into the sensitivity, the receptivity, allow yourself to receive. Yeshi Sokil's power is that of the tiger Sita, or medicine of spirit tiger. Her presence in a reading indicates that a boldness of spirit and a willingness to engage your challenges will create the path to inevitable success. Isn't that wild? I really see. I mean, it is a challenge, right? To open up to a healing experience with a person. It's a challenge. She represents our ability to generate the spiritual power necessary to accomplish what needs to manifest for the greatest good. This oracle encourages you to call upon your higher spiritual guides for assistance. This empowers them to bring their light to the world through you and for you to grow in your own spiritual advancement too. Remember, enlightenment is a team effort with extraordinary individual players working together as one. You belong on such a team. Tiger skin is depicted in sacred iconography to represent fearless enlightenment that cuts through all obstacles. Deities such as Tara, in her fierce emanation of Ekajati, and her ferocious expression as the wrathful, protective feminine deity Halden Lamo, and wild Lord Shiva are often pictured wearing or seated upon tiger skins. There's another one too, Durga. I want to bring in Durga. I got to bring in Durga because we've been working with Kali, so I'm not going to leave Kali out of that mix, okay? And Durga comes into that as well, all right? Durga often is seen as riding a tiger, all right? So that gives you a little clue to explore there too, all right? Really working with that energy, letting that energy carry you forward, okay? Letting that energy clear the path for you. This represents the indomitable will that conquers negativities because it refuses to be overcome. Numerous divine beings are depicted moving through the worlds with the tiger as their sacred mount, which is Durga. It's so funny that brought in, enabling them to accomplish their spiritual purpose. Tiger is a symbol for navigating treacherous territory and the triumph of light over darkness. Tiger's spirit medicine can control the poisons of anger and hatred, transforming them into passion, clarity, and unwavering commitment to one's higher purpose. The Oracle of Yeshi Sogol 333 augurs empowerment and healing by assuming a confident attitude and taking steps forward. It indicates that a negative time is drawing to a close and encourages commitment to the task of overcoming negativities through spiritual practices suited to you. Let me say that again, and let me say it louder for those in the back. It is such an important message. It indicates that a negative time is drawing to a close and encourages commitment to the task of overcoming negativities through spiritual practices suited to you. To you. What speaks to you, what feels right to you, your spiritual truth, okay? It's sacred. Honor that. It doesn't matter if you feel like a beginner or uncertain of how to meditate, for example. Yeshi Sogol became enlightened because she made progress one step at a time, attracting the right teachers and guides to assist her. You have the precious gift of such a path. It is good karma to have such a path, and it creates further good karma when you pursue it. Don't turn back like Lot's wife. Don't look back at the past. It is further good karma to pursue it. You have to plant that seed. You have to plant that Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is an offer. It's an opportunity, but it's up to you to plant it. And it requires that you move forward because you can't look back and plant an Ace of Pentacles. The repeated 3 symbolizes that all manner of assistance and support will be granted to ensure your attainment. This will include the gifts of appropriate teachings and teachers, friends, healers, synchronicity, circumstance, and opportunity. Trust the universe and go for what you want with boldness and courage. Finally, this oracle indicates triumph over even the most severely negative energies. With the help of supernatural intervention, if need be, to activate that blessing, be determined to prevail. Fully empower the beneficial workings of the light in your life and in our world. Truly, you are a light worker. Embrace it and live it. Hmm. It's potent. It's potent. She has a healing process. You want to go through it? Let's ground this. Let's root it. Let's bring it into our bodies. Let's hold this intention together. After I, get off of here, I will watch the replay and I'll let myself receive it too. But I'll lead you all through it right now. Wherever you are, just go ahead and get yourself into a nice, comfortable position and close your eyes and tune that in attention inward and take some deep cleansing breaths, just allowing any busyness of the mind, anything that may be troubling you, anything that may be in your space, to just fall away with the exhalation and carry that inhalation all the way down to your lower belly, allowing that lower belly to rise and expand, filling with that life-giving prana, nourishing that root, and exhaling, following your awareness of that breath, that prana, all the way out with the exhalation, noticing that there's this circuitous flow with the breath where it's like a wave. It ebbs and it flows, and your belly rises and it falls, and not trying to force the breath to be any certain way. Just allow your breath to be natural and flowing as it wants to be at this time, experiencing that nourishment, the way it fills you with that spirit of the flow of endings and new beginnings. We experience endings and new beginnings in every moment through our breath, through that prana, the taking in of that life force energy and the releasing of that life force energy. And the cycle just continues. I'm going to provide you with a visualization that I'm leading you through as you sit here and just continue to allow yourself to breathe and just open up that space with the breath in your body of receptivity to allow that nourishment to come in. And if you're not a visual person, that's okay. All right. Just you can receive the words of it and just pay attention to the sensations that arise in your body and know that you're receiving the charge of it. If you are a visual person, as I speak these things into existence, allow the symbols to enter your soul without any need to analyze them or interpret them. Just let them be. And if you're more of a feeling kind of person, a sensing kind of person, then just allow the words to have their own reverberation within you, noticing any emotions or sensations that arise as you do so, and allowing them to soak into your soul without needing to analyze or interpret them. It's about getting into your instincts, into your animal body. It's about really leaning into the feeling, your senses, that sensual experience, and allowing yourself to receive this charge and to trust that how it comes through for you is perfect for you at this time and will support you in coming into alignment. To prepare yourself, just continue to consciously connect with your breath, allowing it to flow in and out, allowing the breath to become deeper and more complete, calming and centering you in the present moment. You may like to place your left hand over your heart. Rest your top hand hand, your left hand, cover your left hand with that right hand to just bring in that initial point of that Kriya we've been building. Left hand on the heart, right hand covering that left hand, the masculine just holding that space for the feminine to feel safe in opening up to vulnerability, in softening so the feminine can receive that support. Allow this connection, this physical connection with your hands placed over your heart to connect you with your soul's essence. Relax. Become receptive at your soul level, open and willing to take in symbolic nourishment to empower, protect, and heal you. Open yourself now to receive the charge of these words as you hold the space for the collective speaking this into existence through the expression of our souls. You see a brilliant white sun. It shines radiant white light through continually shifting mandalas of sacred geometric patterns. Waves of light move through you, slow, deep, and healing. Out of the most luminous center of this sun, a solar tiger of white light stalks forth. You see the numbers 333 emblazoned above her. Light continues to amplify itself, reaching far and wide into every dimension. There is no barrier that can withstand it. The waves of light continue to move through you, slow, powerful, and deep. This is a meditation. This is a practice that you can come back to again and again and again as you start to take these steps forward on your path. It will give you an empowerment. It will align you with your courage. It will give you what you need to go the distance. And when you call forward this visualization, this energy, you can rest in this space as long as you wish, and allowing yourself to really soak it in at the deepest levels of your soul, right at that core level. You can just drink in the nourishment of that. And then when you are ready, you can slowly come out of it, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, allowing those eyes to start to flutter open and looking around the room about you. Make sure you make some contact with your body. Sometimes it helps to kind of like rub your hands all over your body, just to like make contact with your body. You want to make sure that anytime you move into expansion, remember it came in the beginning, you want to move back into grounding, okay? You really want to root the experience. That's what will help you feel stabilized as you open up more as a channel, as you open up into your psychic gifts, as you start to lean into your intuition more. It can even help to kind of like gently pat all over the body, very gently on the face, okay, just fingertips and, on the crown, all over the body, even on the bottoms of your feet. That can really just call your energy back into the physical. It can be very grounding. So if you're somebody that as you open up to channeling, if you start to open up to your psychic awareness and you notice you start feeling like you're just kind of like wandering off into the alfalfa, you just go way out into the ether, and it can have a tendency to sort of like spin you out too much. So important to remember this, okay? When you're done with doing any kind of visioning, meditation work, anything like that, any channeling, make sure you're coming back into the body. It can also help if you go really deep to get something to eat, have a nourishing meal. Protein is your ally, getting some protein in. Some complete protein can really help root you in the physical too. It's very good. And it can be very helpful when you're expending your energy like that, because it's something that's not often talked about in the tarot community, but you probably hear readers mention it a lot here on YouTube about how they're feeling tired, or sometimes they need to take a break, or you can't force a message, things along these lines. A lot of that has to do with, in order to move into these upper channels and start really working with channeling and working with um, your upper channels, those channels of Ajna, the third eye, and Sahasrara, the crown chakra, throat chakra, all of this upper channel stuff from the heart on up. It's very activating for the nervous system. So people don't understand that it may seem like, oh, we're just pulling cards here, girl, I'm drained. Yeah, see, it's like, just pulling in the energy. It taxes the nervous system. This is higher vibrational energy, and we have to remember we're in physical bodies, right? So the more that you can kind of like make contact with your body, pat it out, have a nourishing meal, maybe even create some space tonight to kind of rest a little bit, allow everything that came through to integrate, make sure you're hydrating, getting that water in. It will really benefit you. It will really benefit you. And yeah, you can come back to that again and again and again. And I have to laugh because when this came in as a final parting word, I got a little bit of tongue in cheek humor. And it was like, hey, every good quest deserves a montage. Like, we need a montage that'll like fire us up and keep us inspired as we're heading into this new chapter. And what came through was Eye of the Tiger. All right. So y'all got to tune into that song, Eye of the Tiger. Use that as sort of like your rally cry, your montage as you head into this home stretch and you start really stepping onto your new path and all the new stuff coming in. It looks really good. You have some beautiful opportunities up ahead. And thank you so much to all of you who've been showing up and doing this work and doing it on whatever level you feel able to. Maybe you have to watch these videos in segments. It's been a lot for me too. I've been kind of surprised. I never anticipated when I opened up to this that I'd be doing like 4 hours, verging on 5 hour downloads, doing these lives, but it's just what's come in, and I really appreciate whatever level you can greet it, whatever level you can take it in, and move with it at your own pace. You don't have to rush. You got to listen to your own internal rhythms. But thank you so much to all of you who've been showing up and participating and offering that support. I value all of you and much love to all of you. And get ready. There's beautiful things coming in. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it flow. The eye of the tiger is the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. You got this. Those forces of fear have nothing on you. You're heading straight into the temple of love. See you all on Tuesday.